Hello, guys, and welcome to the Stardom Cast, your weekly audio source of all things World Wonder Ring Stardom. I'm your host, Rob Goodwin, and I am joined as ever by my Vivid Honey Mustard, your Vivid Honey Mustard, the world's Vivid Honey Mustard. It is, of course, Mr. Matt Turner. Matt Turner, how are you? Rocking some retro Stardom Cast merch there.
Yeah, the old Saya Kamatani Wonder of Stardom championship run. Literally, I came home, I grabbed the first shirt that was in my drawer, and I was like, all right, there we go. And our shirts are basically mirroring the championship match we have coming up in just a few weeks, which I am super excited about. Starlight Kid versus Saya Kamatani. Obviously, we'll get into that a little bit later because Saya Kamatani did something uncharacteristic, coming back early from her paid vacation just to piss off Starlight Kid. So you have to admire the dedication of our MVP in one Saya Kamatani. Brother, I'm doing great. We are pretty much everybody in the Northeast we're getting ready to bear down for a massive snowstorm that is
Oh,
supposed to be starting either Friday or Saturday. It's supposed to go to like 2 or 3 days. Originally, it's supposed to be starting Saturday night. Now they're saying it may start sometime on Friday, which may throw a wrench into my plans this weekend because myself and one Andy Header are being inducted into the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame.
so I have seen. You need to make more of a bigger deal of this, buddy.
Yeah, I know, right? We did talk about it a little bit on Talk Joshi this week, but the Hall of Fame thing is 10 to 12. It's like a few matches and the induction. So it's like, okay, well, it's going to be early in the morning, so like 10 a.m. to noon, and this place is only 20 minutes away from my house, so I'll be home by lunch. So I'm like, it
Okay.
should brave the storm. But about a few hours ago, they were saying there's a possibility the storm may start Friday night into Monday morning, anywhere between 15 to 20 some odd inches is what is being rumored. So
Good
the one
Lord.
good thing, Rob, now obviously just like Matt, how can you put a positive on that? There's a lot of great Joshi coming up
There
this
is.
weekend. We got Mayu Iwatani's anniversary match coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We have night two of the Max Heart tournament from Tokyo Joshi Pro. We got some shows from Stardom. We have a really loaded show again from Sendai Girls. So worst case scenario, Rob, if I am snowed in and I can't make the trek up to Pizza Town on Sunday for my usual ventures, I will be in this room or on my fancy new iPad downstairs with the cats watching a whole bunch of Joshi Puro matches. And more on that later, folks, because boy, howdy, we are loading things up.
We really are.
Yeah, if you guys like us, you're going to love us in 2026. Or if you don't like us, you're going to hate us. It's one extreme to the next. So, but no, brother, I'm doing great. No sense of complaining. I know that you're, you've seen some better days. I know you're a little, Rip Van Winkle over there. You need a little shut eye there, my friend.
Yes. Just to call long story short, just not sleeping. So yeah, I did text Matt and say, look, I there's no way I'm making it through 4 shows tonight. And I was looking at, I said to you, I was looking through my notes, and I've made notes on the matches. I don't remember the matches happening. I watched the Korakuen Hall show last night, looked at all my notes. I remember 3 spots of Rina and Konami, and that's it. Don't remember anything else. Luckily, I've made notes and I've given everything a rating, but yeah, don't remember anything else. I'm going to be good for nothing by 10 o'clock my time. So yeah, thankfully, Matt Turner, the absolute legend that he is going to be carrying you through those show reviews, including a really, really good Korakuen Hall show, a really, really good Korakuen Hall show, a fantastic main event. I've got a question for you in regards to the main event. I imagine it's the question that quite a few people have been asking, especially on social media. It's sort of an interesting little debate in regards to a spot in that main event. But overall, thought the show was great. We've got some news to talk about. We've got a rebrand to talk about as well. Obviously, Matt, you've just said about the snow. Apparently, we are due to get that snow off you on the 31st, I believe. We're
Pushing it
due it.
off you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enjoy.
Absolutely. We've had this. Now, see how you deal with it. And it's great because America, you watch in America and in Canada, I was watching a football match or highlights of a football match, soccer match that was taking place in Canada. And the amount of snow on the pitch was just unbelievable. You couldn't see anything. It was like that deep. There was ridiculous. But all they did was they stopped the match every 20 minutes to shovel the snow off and then carried on. If that was Britain, the entire country is ground to a halt. Absolutely nothing would be happening. And I can't remember if I told you this, but we were. Oh, is it Storm Goretti? Was that the previous storm? I believe we were supposed to have this biblical level of snow, like to the point where basically the entirety of our county shut down because it was like similar to you betting, guys, the apocalypse is nigh. So anyway, businesses were shutting on the Thursday, ready for this hellish snowstorm that was supposed to happen over Thursday night, and obviously you would wake up on Friday and you wouldn't be able to see out your windows because you'd be snowed into your house. Sure enough, Matt, I kid you not, I woke up and there was not one drop of snow on the Friday. So all these businesses had shut, all these schools had shut, preempted it. Not one drop of snow, not one.
That's usually the weathermen over here in this area they're very entertaining. Don't get me wrong, but 9.5 times out of 10 they're wrong. But I always tell my nephews whenever they're like, "Uncle, what should I go to school for? What should I go be a meteorologist?" Because we've had the same 5 or 6 the last 30 years, and they're just like, yeah, it's December, it's going to be cold, it may or may not snow. Have a great day, everyone. Like, that's a great job security. Like, if I'm wrong 90% of the time, I would be fired, and rightfully so. So I always think weather casting in the Northeast is the best job to go for. So we'll see what we're gonna get. I know a lot of people, when it comes to the weather, they always expect the worst, and we really don't get that bad. And I know we made mention, we talked about our Japan trip. We were supposed to get 6 to 12 inches the morning that we were driving out to the airport, and I think we wind up getting 2 inches. So that I was happy for that one. I don't mind the snow. I like the snow for the holidays. Now that my job is more worker safety, they like having us sit at home and making phone calls instead of going out into stores and possibly ramming our cars into certain other businesses. But so I don't really mind the snow that much, but I was like, oh man, I just don't want to drive in the snow going to the airport. So I lucked out there. So we're gonna get what we get. I always say Mother Nature, Father Time, they're both undefeated.
Absolutely.
So you just kind of have to, brave down for it. I just reminded myself, I just got a giant bag of rock salt. So I got to get that out of my car before I call it a night. Cause my wife would be like, where's that rock salt that you just bought? Oh yeah, it's still sitting in my car. But yeah, I mean, it's just the weather's going to weather. You just got to kind of batten down for it. And in the Northeast, like, we only get like snowstorms and windstorms. We don't get volcanoes. Really rarely do we get hurricanes. You don't have to worry about earthquakes, anything like that. It's just snow will stop when it's going to stop, and then you just go out and you shovel, and then you go about your business. That's about it.
I remember that there was one weatherman called Michael Fish, which was hilarious. Yeah, absolutely. Strong name, hilarious name. And there is, any time they do a TV show of like clips of the stupidest things said on television and stuff like that, this guy always comes up because we've had one tornado in Britain, to my knowledge. And the night before it happened, Michael Fish went on national television to tell absolutely everyone in the UK that there was no way a tornado was coming, that it was laughable that people could think a tornado would hit Britain. Sure enough, a tornado hit Britain. And I do love the fact that weathermen will always sort of preface, or weather women, obviously, weather people, will always preface their weather report by, the weather could change. The weather could change. They're basically just looking at the camera and going, who knows? Who knows? Which is why I suppose, yeah, you're absolutely right. It would be a great profession. But anyway, enough about that. Let's delve into some news to do with Stardom. And we're going to start actually with myself and you, Matt Turner, which some would argue is a terrible place to start.
The handsome award.
We didn't run that, to be fair, in the Stardom. I thought it was unfair. To do a handsome award, because that could be tricky.
It might have went to Cy and Tam because they seem to win everything.
Literally every single category, and I'll go through the awards with you at the end of the news. But no, we are having a little bit of a rebrand. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that slowly but surely, I have been changing stuff on socials and things like that to World of Joshi. And basically, we put an announcement out today on Twitter, on Patreon, on Instagram as well, that we are effectively sort of rebranding. So everything before, it was sort of the Stardom Cast, and then everything else was sort of underneath the Stardom Cast. Myself and Matt want to try and basically open ourselves up so that we can cover other things. So the three podcasts we have, the Stardom Cast, the Marigold Standard, and Talk Joshi, will all be basically under the brand of World of Joshi. And it just means that basically we can cover whatever, we can cover more things. We're not sort of hamstrung by one thing. The podcasts will not change, as hopefully you will see from listening to this podcast. Stardom Cast will still run weekly. Marigold Standard will still run weekly. And Talk Joshi will still run weekly. Exact same format. Nothing changes. Artwork still the same. The only thing that is changing in regards to the podcast is that the feed itself will be called World of Joshi instead of being called the Stardom Cast. You can still find the Stardom Cast. Just type in Stardom Cast. All the episodes still come up. Nothing changes. It's just that it's all unified under the World of Joshi brand. In terms of Patreon, again, not a lot is changing in terms of Patreon, aside from the name and perhaps the name of the tiers. The content will stay the same. The pricing will stay the same. All of the episodes and the content you expect will still come. It's just that maybe we're going to start doing other things, looking at other brands and companies as well, not just Stardom. So, I know that, Matt, you are currently putting a vote out on Twitter about which tag team you want people want you to do a retrospective on.
So basically, the Patreon is still mostly going to be Stardom stuff. And again, I always say, if you have a suggestion that you want me to do on Patreon, just tell me, and 9 times out of 10, I'll do it. Alternate commentaries more than likely will still be Stardom. Sometime in the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing a Sayaka Kurora, a retrospective or Cinderella tournament, because Rob, that Cinderella tournament is coming up, so get your heart ready.
Indeed.
Get your heart ready.
Oh no! But I was just like, oh yeah, it is coming up, and then it hit me what you were on about, and I was like, oh no, can't deal with this.
But there's going to be a lot of bonus stuff on Talk Joshi. Some of it is going to be on the free feed. Some of it is going to be on the Patreon that is World of Joshi. Now, we did, myself and Andy did make a note. We did say November and December that every month, once a month in the month of in the year 2026, we're going to be doing a tag team retrospective on a tag team outside of Stardom and Marigold. So January is going to be the Magical Sugar Rabbits. February is going to be whoever you vote for on our Twitter page. Those are all going to be free. Now, there is going to be other free things as well. I do have a Miyu Watanabe, her road back to the Princess of Princess Championship. That is going to be on the free feed as well. But then there is going to be some stuff that's going to be on the Patreon. For example, Rob, the very first, pretty much one of the first episodes that we were doing outside of the Stardom Cast for Patreon is myself and Andy Heder. We did record a what if fantasy booking Tokyo Joshi Pro versus Sendai Girls. That'll be on your feed this weekend.
Ooh.
And then in about 7-8 days time, there's going to be another outside of the Stardom bubble for a Patreon. It's going to be a retrospective, a look back, a spotlight, if you will, of Miyu Yamashita in Game Changer Wrestling. Now, Rob, I picked 5, maybe 6 matches to watch, just random matches. And a lot of these pique my interest because Game Changer Wrestling is a Game Changer Wrestling. They're different. So wouldn't you want to hear about Miyu Yamashita versus Megan Bayne? It's going to be on there. How about Joey Janela? Oh, that's on there. You know what? Speedball Mike Bailey. Oh, hell yeah. Rob, I watched this match 2 days ago. It was in a bar in St. Louis in front of 150 people. More people need to be talking about this match. It was so good. And if that doesn't pique your interest, how about a tag match that sees Miyu across the ring with former IWGP champion Konosuke Takeshita? Yes, that'll all be on your feed, a retrospective. So yeah, obviously the Stardom stuff I absolutely love doing, but it's going to be nice to kind of step outside and do some different things. Like I definitely want to do a Victoria Yuzuki retrospective on her run in the Dream Star last year as well. So there's going to be a lot of bonus content on Talk Joshi and then some more stuff outside of the Stardom realm on the Patreon, the World of Joshi Patreon, or the World of Joshi Extra, as we're calling it. And just one other quick thing. So as Rob said, underneath the World of Joshi, you're still gonna have the Stardom Cast, you're still gonna have Marigold Standard, you're still gonna have Talk Joshi. Just because I've had a handful of people asking me, Talk Joshi is going to have its own feed. It's going to have its own feed. I'm hoping to have that up by the end of this month, beginning of next month. You're still going to be able to find Talk Joshi on the World of Joshi feed, the old Stardom Cast feed. But how we're going to do it, and again, because there's going to be so much extra material on there, how we're going to do it, and as I always say, partner, card subject to change, is it's going to come out on Patreon first. So you get it early and ad free. The next day, it'll go on the main Talk Joshi feed. The next day, it'll go on the World of Joshi feed. So if you guys are already comfortable with everything, how it comes out, you don't need to do anything. You're just going to enjoy all the extra content that we're going to have. There's going to be watch alongs, which will be audio only. I may do those for Marigold, as well as Stardom, as well as Sendai Girls, Tokyo Joshi Pro. A lot of really great stuff that we have on tap on the World of Joshi. And again, what this does is it just gives us the opportunity to be able to cover more things, outside of Stardom, to do more interviews outside of Stardom. We got some really good advice when we were in Japan from a lot of really great people, and we all kind of came to this conclusion that this is probably going to be the best for us to grow our brand that is now World of Joshi.
Yeah, absolutely. And just speaking of Twitter, the 3 Twitter feeds, it's just easier as well for me to do one Twitter feed. So all of the news, all of the reviews, all the podcasts will be shared at WOJ Wrestling on Twitter, on Instagram, on Threads. I don't have to go through different names anymore. It's all unified. WOJ Wrestling. And of course, the website is now up and live, worldofjoshi.com, where all of our news, all of our reviews, all of our show previews, and everything will be for you to sample and enjoy. I'm in the process currently of backdating all of the podcast episodes, which, when you consider there's 293 episodes just of the Stardom Cast, and that's without interviews, that's without bonus episodes, that's without Talk Joshi, and that is without the Marigold Standard. It's taking a while, so just leave it with me, and that's without the Patreon as well. So just bear that in mind. So
is that what you're putting on the website, Rob? Is that where you're backdating on the website? Okay,
I'm backdating on the website and on the World of Joshi podcast feed as well. All of the Talk Joshi episodes are on there. The vast majority of the Marigold Standard is on there. I am still in the process of backdating because I'm having to manually download from the old feed and then re-upload on the new feed. So, and because it's not my full-time job, despite it feeling like a full-time job at times, it's just taking me a while. So bear with me. It will be complete very, very soon. So yeah, go and check out worldofjoshi.com as well.
Yeah, guys, again, this is a really cool opportunity for us to do. It's going to give us the ability to do some interviews outside of Stardom, kind of just give a peek behind the curtain. There's some times we try to reach out for interviews, and it's been kind of tricky where it's like, well, I don't work for Stardom. You guys are under the Stardom Cast, or how can I promote that when you guys are under the Stardom Cast? So this is going to give us the opportunity to do that and really just spread the word that is Joshi Pro Wrestling. I don't think that enough people really understand or really get the opportunity to watch Joshi Pro Wrestling. Rob obviously is in England. And England obviously has been very rich in pro wrestling between the British catch-as-catch-can style and World of Sport. So, Rob does a great job pushing the Joshi Pro Wrestling over there. And obviously in the United States, for decades and decades, the biggest wrestling companies ever come from the United States: WWE, WWF, WCW, NWA, AEW, so on and so forth. So if we can take this brand and get it in front of more people, which was always kind of like our unwritten kind of goal, is we want more people to see what I think is the best type of wrestling in the world, Joshi Pro Wrestling. So I think that'll help out. I think that's a really cool opportunity for more people to experience Joshi Pro Wrestling. So this is really awesome. And kind of just one little quick thing, partner, I kind of want to end on is the other night I was coming home and I was listening to Kevin Smith's podcast. I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith. Just his views on positivity is enough alone for me to kind of get really hooked on like kind of his word. And he was saying that he heard an interview. What?
I don't know who Kevin Smith is.
You know what Kevin Smith is?
I think you've bought this guy up before, and I've been like,
Clerks, Mallrats. You never saw Clerks, Mallrats? You don't know who Kevin Smith is, the famous director?
The show Garth Jackson is rolling. I'd say rolling in his grave, but he's not dead. Rolling in his bed. Let's say bed because he's an old man.
He wrote Daredevil. He directed episodes of The Flash. Anywho, Kevin Smith he's a movie director, comedy movie director. Go ahead. Yeah, he's credited.
You carry on. I'm going to Google him.
But anywho, so he now the next names I'm going to say I know you know about. He was talking about how he heard this interview where during the recordings of the prequels, the Star Wars prequel movies, Hayden Christensen, who obviously plays Anakin Skywalker, said to George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, Rob, you know who those names are, right? Hayden Christensen and George Lucas. Who? Oh my goodness.
These people? No, I'm joking. I know these people.
He basically said, Hayden said to George, "Hey George, with these movies, I want to change the world." And George said, "That's a great perspective. That's a great goal, but you can't change the world. What you can do is create your own world and invite people in." And I thought, that's great. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create our own thing and invite people in we want to make this a safe place. Really is kind of our main thing, is because everybody knows pro wrestling fans can be very negative. Pro wrestling fans can be very, very decisive and very negative on the internet. We want to make the world of Joshi, in the world of Joshi, just in general, a safe place where everybody can enjoy and do it in a positive light, because we don't want any negativity in here. We want people to enjoy this medium of wrestling and do it in a positive and fun manner. Rob, did you look up Kevin Smith? Are you more educated now?
I still don't know who he is, but he has directed one of the weirdest and most just haunting films I've ever seen. I didn't realize he Tusk. Oh my God. What is that film?
I actually never seen it because everyone I think there's like 2 or 3 of his movies I've never seen. He even jokes about it on his podcast about how terrible it is.
It's just weird. It's like proper weird. I'm sure there are people that listen to the podcast that have seen it and are like, no, definitely watch it. I'm not a horror fan. I'm not good with psychological stuff. Nah, it wasn't for me. Wasn't for me at all. But there we are.
Clerks. Watch Clerks. It's really
I do need to watch Clerks. Garth has been telling me for years to watch Clerks, and I've always gone, absolutely, it is on my list. And do you know what, Matt? It's never been on my list. So maybe I do need to watch it. Maybe I do need to put that into the old list, the old watch list. But yes, make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you go subscribe to the World of Joshi podcast feed. If you subscribe to the Stardom Cast, it's the exact same feed. You've got nothing to do. But if you haven't already, it'd be great to have you over there. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/World of Joshi. And of course, worldofjoshi.com for all of your Joshi needs. Just a final caveat. Obviously, we are but 3 people. Myself, Matt, and of course, Andy Hedder. We'd love to do extensive coverage of every single Joshi promotion, and that is just not possible. So sometimes there will be breaking news from the likes of Diana or something like that, and we just won't get around to putting it on the website. Not because we don't want to, but because we all have full-time jobs on top of doing all this. So yeah, just a quick one in case we don't get something out about Oz Academy or something like that. We will do our best. We will endeavor to try. Obviously, again, we are sort of at the mercy of old Mother Time. Father Time. It's Mother Nature and Father Time, isn't it?
Undefeated. Both undefeated.
There you go. Let's move on to some Stardom news then. And we're going to start with Saya Kamatani, who has done the unthinkable and has come back early from paid leave. And Matt Turner, this might be my favorite thing to come out of Stardom so far this year. To come back, to stop Starlight Kid promoting her own book, to then promote her own book instead is just magical. It's healing in the best possible way. So obviously those who aren't aware, Saya Kamatani was not supposed to be coming back to Stardom until the 7th of February to face Starlight Kid at Supreme Fight in Osaka. Starlight Kid provoked Saya Kamatani during the tour shows leading up to Korakuen, obviously won the match in Osaka with the Star Crusher. And Starlight Kid was promoting her book, SLK Style 2, in the ring at Korakuen on the 21st of January when she was jumped from behind by the World of Stardom champion, who then proceeded to promote her autobiography, which is just magical stuff, with pre-orders available now, I believe. And I think it comes out on general sale. I'm sure it's February 20th. I've got February 20th in my head. But after that, Saya Kamatani did say, I'm back, full stop. So her first match is back, will be the Stardom Award shows on the 24th and the 25th of January, with the cards having been announced a couple of hours ago. So we'll go through those very, very shortly. So it's nice to see. We weren't sure how they were going to build this red belt match to at the pay-per-view, with one half just not being on the shows. Turns out they've actually done quite a good job, Matt.
And they really didn't need to. It was just
they didn't at all.
Yeah, Kamatani could have just been radio silent and could have just, showed up on the 7th. And it's just like, okay, we can't wait to see this match because these are arguably two of the best wrestlers in all of wrestling going right now. So I thought that it was nifty. They did it on a pre-show. Like literally, like the fans were still filing in, and here comes Starlight Kid to promote her new book. By the way, I do have Starlight Kid Style Book #1, and it's literally 90% of the book is just her mask, and it's still crazy. Like how many masks that this wrestler has. To the point she's got to come out with a second book. So it's really,
these
really
are all
cool.
My heel masks. These are all my face masks.
This is a Wedo tie. This is when I was over as a baby face in a Wedo tie. Just fascinating. But then Sai Kamitani, she comes out to promote her own book, which somebody told me the autograph copy sold out in like 4 hours.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then I think Starlight Kid is also promoting the fact she's on the cover of this week's Weekly Pro Wrestling magazine. So our weekly pro wrestling magazine. So again, another Stardom wrestler on the cover of that magazine seems to kind of be the way they're going the last 2 years. But I was like, oh, all right, here we go. As if I'm not more intrigued. And they're more than likely going to break the record for the most sold tickets in that building for a Joshi company, because it looks like there's only like 2 sections left. And I think it's like there's like 14 sections available. So more than likely. With that as the main event, obviously, we know we're having a special singles match with Shuri and Saki Kashima. We have a Wonder match that we'll talk about that was set up at this great Korakuen show. So, I mean, Stardom is just all gas, no brakes. They really, really are. And again, I love the way this match is being built up. Thoroughly looking forward to this one, my friend.
However, Stardom are cutting their nose off to spite their face ever so slightly, as they have taken off the 2024 5-star Grand Prix match between these two, which was an absolutely phenomenal match. Apparently, you can't find that on Stardom World anymore. And I don't know what is going on with Stardom World. I don't know if it is a clash in terms of TV rights or something like that, but something needs to be sorted in terms of Stardom World, because there are random matches that are just disappearing and then not being re-uploaded, which seems like a real shame when you've got the back catalog that this company has.
Yeah, that's really odd. Somebody was telling me that they couldn't find it, and I'm like, maybe it's just one file, because I know it was on that.
There's quite a lot, that, especially recent matches as well.
Oh, really? That I didn't know. I didn't get a chance to look into it because I know it was on that playoff on the Shinjuku Face show from last year's 5-star Grand Prix, which I always say this is why I'm a fan of physical media, Rob, because I watched that match yesterday on DVD, Blu-ray, on my couch. Yes. Absolutely. I sure did. And then I watched
Cat that had the cream. Look at him. Smugness.
And I actually watched that with laying on the couch with my one cat that has trouble walking, because she loves watching wrestling. She just loves, I think she likes the colors. And then she just likes the going back and forth. I literally had her wrapped in a blanket over here the other day. Just because I wanted to get her change of scenery, and I put it over here and I put the heater on, and she looked bored, and I just put my iPad in front of her and I put on a bunch of Miyu Watanabe matches, and she was so happy. I think it's because of the pink. I think it's the pink. She was so happy. I'm like, all right. And we know she likes warm and she likes Miyu Watanabe. All right, we're good to go.
There you go. Just carrying on, sort of talking about Saya Kamatani at the moment. It's been announced, or was announced, that she was going to be making a guest appearance on the TBS Sunday drama Reboot. which will air on Sundays and started on January 18th. Kamatani, I believe, is scheduled to make 2 appearances on the show. The first in the debut episode, and then the second, I believe, she plays according to Mira Wrestling on Twitter, a mysterious woman closely connected to the corrupt lawyer Kaida, played by Yoshi Sako. So again, when you couple the exploits in wrestling and then you put what she did on the TV morning show that she was a guest host of, then you put that with the fact that she brought women's wrestling to terrestrial TV for the first time in God knows how long, and now you put in those acting credits as well. Saya Kamatani is really, really branching out and making a brand of herself, really capitalizing on that fame and that success that she was able to bring in late 2024 and 2025. And good for her. Absolutely good for her.
Yeah, and again, she's just keeping so busy on so many different fronts, not only the wrestling, but this as well. And that's why I kind of like the fact that she was taking a break after the Tokyo Dome. Like as much as I want to see Saya Kamatani wrestling every day, we're only human. So it was nice seeing her giving herself a few weeks off to kind of recharge a little bit. So it's only gonna help Saya Kamatani. It's only going to help Stardom. It's only going to really help Joshi Pure Wrestling. So I know there's people that are watching just Joshi in general because of Saya Kamatani. Obviously, Saya Kamatani is, branded with Stardom, and rightfully so. But now there's more people that are now getting into Marigold and Oz Academy and Tokyo Joshi Pro and Sendai Girls and so on and so forth because of the name that is Saya Kamatani. So again, this is just really great for not only pro wrestling but Joshi Pro Wrestling as a whole. Saya Kamatani becoming basically maybe the John Cena. Maybe we should call her Peacemaker Saya Kamatani. Basically becoming the John Cena of Stardom over here, my friend.
Absolutely. I can't think of a better name, to be perfectly honest. Moving on, then, we had a significant amount of sort of movement towards the pay-per-view in terms of matches set up. Obviously, all of this will contain spoilers of the Korakuen Hall show, but as the review of the Korakuen Hall show is in the title, hopefully you are aware of that. You aren't coming into our review of Korakuen Hall having not watched Korakuen Hall and not expect spoilers. But the white belt picture looks a little bit different. Obviously, Konami defeating Rina in a stellar main event in Korakuen Hall. She was then confronted by Ami Sourei, and that match will happen, though there isn't a match graphic as of yet, Matt Turner, so not official, obviously. Will be defending the white belt at the pay-per-view against Ami Sourei of God's Eye. Makes sense for a couple of reasons. Obviously, Ami Sourei had a claim to the white belt, having beaten Konami in the tag league. She lost the number 1 contendership match at the start of December to Sairida in a blisteringly good match, and now gets her opportunity here. It's going to be a fantastic match, a really, really good match. Before I get into sort of my thoughts on the Konami and Rina match, because obviously I'm not going to be here for the Korakuen Hall review, your thoughts on Ami Sourei and Konami? I think Konami, especially this version of Konami, I am really, really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, if you remember that when they had Ami and Saida had that unbelievable, crazy Korakuen Hall main event for the number 1 contenders.
Fantastic.
I thought Ami Sourei was going to win, and then Ami Sourei was going to dethrone Konami, even though Konami was like a V0, which we really don't see with the Wonder Belt. We've seen it twice with the Red Belt in the 15-year history with Alpha Female and Natsukatora, but we don't really see it with the Wonder Belt. And I think that's the way they're going. I think it's just maybe Konami's the transitional champion to get to Ami Sourei, but then it was Saida. So, and then Konami, obviously, great match there, great match with Rina, which again, I will get into at literally the very end of this show. So now Ami Sourei comes back out because she really seems like Ami Sourei, between her and Hanan, seems to be the next heir apparent to hold that belt. So maybe, Rob, maybe, and I'm still 50-50. I don't know where I land on this. Maybe they wanted to give Konami 2 really great, solid defenses before they go in with that run with Ami Sourei, or maybe the Konami's a hot hand right now. Great in the ring, getting proper heat. People want to see her lose, very much like BMI 2000. They will pay to see her lose. And then when she comes so close, it's like, now you got to pay again to see who the next challenger is. So very interesting. I think it's going to be great. The fact that we're going to get more than likely the 1-2 punch in Osaka is going to be, I guess, 1-2 kick in Osaka. See what I did there, Rob? Is going to be Ami and
Brilliant.
Konami, and then Sai and Starlight Kid. Again, just an embarrassment of riches of how great this company is. I think it's a great challenge, and I don't know how it's going to go. Right now, I think it's 50-50, but I think Ami Sourei is somebody they're going to want to crown Wonder of Stardom champion sometime in 2026. That's the way at least it felt after the 5-star Grand Prix. This could be the way to go because they have a lot of heat and proper heat onto Konami. People want to see Konami get beat. People love Ami Sourei. It's really, the perfect storm. Maybe this is the time that Ami Sourei finally gets that big win and walks out of a big show with one of the 2 big championships.
I would be very surprised if Ami Sourei takes the belt off Konami. Very, very
Ooh.
surprised. Just FYI, by the way, you're absolutely right. We don't tend to see V0s in the history of the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Only 4 have ever have dropped it immediately. One of those was Yuzuki Aikawa in 2015, and that was because of injury. The rest, so the other 3 have all happened since 2023. And because we love games like this on the Stardom Cast, Matt Turner, name me those 3 V0s with the white belt.
Oh, Mina, Tam.
Mina, no.
Oh, Mina was Natsupoi. Tam.
Mina had that great match with Natsupoi, really underrated. Tam, yes.
Oh, Soriano's second run and Mika Wada.
Correct. Well done. Well done. Mina had that great match with Natsupoi and then obviously lost the belt to Tam in Tam's second reign, and Tam then obviously went V0 and lost to Mirai. So there you go, a little bit of Stardom history. But sort of coming back to what we're talking about now, I think with Hanan coming back, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, and with the fact that Konami was the one that in storyline in kayfabe wrote her off television on the 27th of September, I imagine that Hanan will challenge Konami at some point, and that'll be our match at All-Star Grand Queendom. But I could be wrong.
That's the way you think it may be going. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of right answers. And of course, Rob, the always correct answer is Hazuki. So,
of course.
However, I'm sure you saw the potential match that they teased.
Oh,
Hazuki.
yes.
Oh, if they do that in New Jersey. If they do that in New Jersey.
Oh, my Lord. Well, to be fair, they're setting up a lot of challenges for Syuri at the moment. Obviously, they teased a lot with Maika, and Maika seemed very clear which belt she was going for. I am having the New Japan Strong title, which I am slightly puzzled as to why that is still a thing when the brand has collapsed, but that's by the by. We're getting Maika and Syuri. And then obviously Hazuki also put her name in the hat backstage after Korakuen. So
Alex Windsor as well.
Alex Windsor, again, Alex Windsor's tremendous. So all of those in the pipeline for Syuri, so very, very exciting. Sort of talking about Konami and Rina, obviously a fantastic match, 4.5 stars from me. Another wonderful feather in the cap of Rina. And I thought they did a really good job immediately establishing, yes, it's a heel versus heel. Konami is the heelier heel than Rina, because Korakuen Hall loved Rina. Korakuen Hall, big into Rina. I loved, because these two have sort of done, they've been through a lot together. Obviously, they were in Tokyo Cyber Squad together, went through the loss of Hana together. Obviously, Konami really close with Hana, Rina, Hana's protege. And these two are still close, as proven when they won the Artist of Stardom Championships with Fukigen Death, who was also in Tokyo Cyber Squad, doing the TCS sort of salute. And, it's been nice to see those moments together. The spot I wanted to talk about is obviously the Tiger Lily, sorry. Obviously connected with it in this match, and Konami kicked out. Now, I will always argue that the moment Rina hit that should have led to a big victory, whether that is a tournament victory, whether that is a championship victory. And I know that there are some people, especially online, who are of the same opinion. I agree with that opinion. However, I can see if there's anyone that is going to kick out of that, I think Konami is probably the one to kick out of that because of the history that is there. I think it was probably very deliberately chosen that, right, I'm going to hit the Tiger Lily, but you're not quite ready to win with it just yet. And for it to be Konami, former Tokyo Cyber Squad member, someone who was very close to Hannah, to kick out of that, I think that's a very meaningful moment. Would I have saved it? Yes, I would have. But who am I, really?
Yeah, I think she should have won some matches for it. She teased it, that match Starlight Kid, at the Path of Thunder, dun dun dun, and rock and roll. She teased it in that unbelievable 5-star Grand Prix semifinal match with the Zumi,
She did, yeah.
but she hits it here under Konami, and the crowd was ready for it.
It was. They were, absolutely.
That place would have went nuts if that was the 3 count. I mean, you make a really great point and counterpoint. Like, yeah, that could have been the finish, but it's not like Rina hit it on Ann Kanai. No disrespect to Ann Kanai, then Ann Kanai kicks out of it. It's Konami. They're in the same faction, Tokyo Cyber Squad together. They were in the tag league this past year together. So there's a lot of history there. I think that if they were going to change the belt and they were going to do it in this venue, it should have been done. And obviously they didn't. It should have been done with the hydrangea, because then you can say this is the same building that Konami tapped out to the hydrangea from Honda in the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix. So I don't mind it there. I just think that the place would have went absolutely nuclear if that was the finish. So I see people's point. Partner, as always, you make a great counterpoint that if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Konami. But I would have had her get some wins with it first. Maybe I would have done something maybe where she hits the Tiger Lily and then she's selling the arm and then she does kind of a lack cover. 1-2, Konami gets the foot on the ropes. Maybe that's something that I would have done. But again, who am I to tell these two how to wrestle? I mean, Rina, it's so crazy over. Konami, who's always done great work, is doing the best work of her career. We say just about each and every week is on an absolute tear. Rina, phenomenal. I mean, the new gear, her and Hanan, they must have been like, who's going to outdo each other to have the best gear on this show? Just a really, really great. 1,400 people, almost 1,500 people were there to see this, which is just crazy. These numbers from Korakuen Hall and Stardom. But yeah, again, I see a lot of people's point, like, she finally hits it, but doesn't win the belt. And especially when the crowd is ready for it, you can feel the energy there for it. And then for Konami to kick out and the Konami to get the win, it kind of took the air out of the building. But at the same time, they obviously view Konami as a big star that's going to draw tickets by having people chase her for that belt. And we're going to see it again here with Ami Sourei in that semi-main event coming up in about 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, I think for me, if she wasn't going to win, they should have pocketed it and saved it. It's the same, to a lesser extent, it's the same feeling I had towards me, Miko Auno and the 1 second EX. I think she should have saved that and then won the Dream Star with it, as opposed to winning it using it for the first time on a random, it was a random tour show. Wasn't it against Chan Yota or someone?
It was against Nagisa Nozaki, because I was
right.
They did a 6-person tag on the Sunday show. Yeah. And as they're killing each other, I was like, man, I want to see that match. I'm like, oh yeah, they did. And then I remembered, she used it on
but it was like a random tour show in it wasn't even in her hometown. It was somewhere really random.
It was night 7 or 8 of the Dream Star, not in a big building.
That's right. Yes.
It was on a Thursday or a Friday, and I was like, oh, I kind of would have saved that maybe
Why
for the
would
finals.
You not say? Why exactly? The first time she connected with it properly, she should have won a title with it, a tournament with it. And again, maybe that's me being, maybe I'm putting too much stall into it. Maybe.
No, you're looking at it very much like Kobashi would only hit the Burning Hammer, when it made the most. He got the most out of that move. I think he only used it 5 or 6 times, something like that.
I believe it was 7. I believe it was 7.
But every time he hit it, it was a big oh my god! And of course,
it was a big moment. Yeah,
very much like the Kawada with the Gonzo bomb and Misawa with the Tiger Driver 98. It was it's something. It's like your double nuclear finisher. So it's just can you imagine if Kabashi used it on a random show in Nagoya in a tag match where he pinned like Ogawa with it or something. Like, wait, what? Like, yeah, that's used for like Masawa. Like, that's the move to be. Anywho, I'm not getting into my All Japan thing, but now I totally see your point. But obviously, again, I could see reasons why it didn't happen. Like I said, at the end of the day, who are we to tell Teru Okada how to book his territory? Because he seems
Exactly.
to be doing a-okay, my friend. He seems to be doing a-okay. And by the way, Teru Okada did make mention again at the start of the show about Stardom running the Tokyo Dome,
He
brother.
did, yeah. They're bringing it in. They're bringing it into the narrative more and more and more.
Yeah.
Saya Kamatani mentioned it again during her acceptance for the Tokyo Joshi MVP. So it's 100% happening. It'll just be a case of
it's not. Rob used the. You could
there
have
we
used
go, yeah.
99%.
It's not
You
happening
could have
now.
used
Never.
99%. But I will say, Andy had to start saving up, buddy, because your first flight on an airplane is going to be into Japan.
I would be amazed. I would be amazed if they don't run the end of 2027 in the Tokyo Dome. I think that's where they go with it.
I think they'll make the announcement at All-Star Grand Queendom, and then I'm hoping maybe All-Star Grand Queendom 2027. That's where they do it, just so I can take my wife to Japan when it's a little bit warmer out.
It wasn't that bad, to be fair. I thought it'd be a lot. It's so much colder here than it is in Japan. So much colder.
Yeah. We'll see, buddy. We'll be there. We're gonna make it a point. How do we not? We've been obsessing of this company. Obviously, me 5 years, you for the last 6. We go to Japan for Sumo Hall, and just like, yeah, they're running the Tokyo Dome. It's like, yeah, no, we'll sit at home and watch it. No, I think we almost need to be there.
It depends, because if I'm working, I can't book time off because I'm term time. So I'll be gutted if it's during that time.
Give me the email to the people I need to talk to.
Yeah, I will do. Don't you worry.
Uncle MT, and I'll come up with another. I'll say my name's Andy Header. That's
appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about this earlier, but Hanan made her reappearance, made her re-debut after injury, her return from injury. She came to the ring on the 19th of January in Takamatsu and said that she would be returning to the ring at Korakuen in an 8-woman tag, teaming with Bea Priestley, Momokogo, and Sayurida against Hate. She did that successfully, and her and Bea Priestley thus challenged BMI 2000 for those titles. Now, it hasn't been announced where it's going to happen. However, the way that they have structured these 2 award show matches, the 2 award show main events, I think the chances are this will also be on Supreme Fight as well, because the 2 main events of the award shows are Starlight Kid, Amisori, Hanan, and Bea Priestley against Hate. So I imagine that's probably where we are going. Great to see Hanan in ring. Brand new gear. She's been missed. I think she brings a completely unique dynamic to Stars as well, who, fair play to Sayurida and Momokogo in particular, who have kept Stars going, whilst obviously Bea has been traveling between the US and Japan, which is never easy. Ask Megan Bain. And obviously, Uriah Himi has had her own issues with injury as well. So absolute credit to Sayurida and to Momokogo. But it's great to see Hanan back in a Stardom ring, back in the title picture, Matt Turner, alongside Bea Priestley.
Yeah, I think they may do it on the Korakuen on the 31st, because you need something big there.
Possibly, yeah.
And they set this match up in Korakuen. So I think that's where they're going to do it. Obviously, Bea made mention when she pinned Tora, and then she made mention that she pinned Ruaka. So you knew it was going to be Bea versus somebody. I love Hanan. I love Saida. I really thought it would be Momokogo.
I thought it was going to be Momokogo. I thought it was going to be Uriah Himi initially, because that's who Bea tags with a lot. But yeah, then Momo.
I was really hoping so Momo would get the rub. Rob, we kind of made mention of it a few months ago, and it didn't happen. I think this is where the Bea turn happens. I think Bea's going to turn on Hanan in this match, and that's where Bea's going to join Hate. I think that Hate has not had a new member in about a year. I think they're overdue. I think this is because that's why she picked Hanan, because she does the turn on Momokogo. Who's the biggest star in Stars? It's Hanan. And then if Hanan does go after that Wonder Belt, you can have her, you can do her V1, could be onto a freshly new heel turn Bea Priestley. So there's a lot that you can do there. I think Bea's doing great work as a babyface. You can tell she's having the time of her life. But Bea Priestley is a better heel. I'm going to make a prediction that Bea turns heel on Hanan in this match and joins Hate.
Oh, you just don't need to do it though. That's the thing. Like, I get it. Obviously, she never actually officially left Oedetai, did she? When the borders closed and then she got signed by AEW and then WWE. Um, I, I think if she was there full time living in Japan, maybe, but she's full time. But obviously, she will sit tours out to go home, and that's not a knock by any stretch of the imagination. I would do the exact same thing. It must be very, very hard touring in a country where you don't speak the language. So I completely, with a husband as well in another country, I completely get that. So that's not a dig at B by any stretch of the imagination. But are they going to give her a storyline where, she's going to sit a tour out and then come back and then sort of go back and then come back and then go back? I just don't see it. And plus, I don't think Stars are strong enough to lose another member. Hate have got, to the point where one of these matches on the award show, we're gonna go through these cards in a moment. One of them is a 14-woman tag match.
Oh my goodness.
14, to the point where there are enough members of Hate to do that, but they've had to cobble the rest of the team together with members of Stars, God's Eye, and Neo Genesis.
They brought back EBM for this match.
Exactly. And there's still members of Hate left over. So, yeah, I'm not convinced that you need to do that, especially when you've got Momo Watanabe to come back from injury. I think B is working well as a babyface. I think she's doing well with Stars. I think she's fitting in well. I think she's a great mentor for the likes of Uriah Hime. I think she works well with Momo Kogo. And I think now that Hannon's back and we can get Wingori back together, that might open B Priestley up to a little bit more singles action. I could see them potentially turning it, but I don't think they need to. There's too many members of Hate anyway, and you're going to run the risk of it just becoming bloated and there being too many.
How crazy would it be if B joins Hate and then Momo comes back, turns face, and then Momo joins Stars, considering how much she hated Stars because of Mayu Iwatani? What a wild, we've seen crazier things in pro wrestling before. What a wild scenario that would be, my friend.
Absolutely. We might as well briefly talk about the Stardom Awards cards. So they will run on the 24th and the 25th of January in Takadanobaba, Belsal. Takadanobaba, by the way. 2 shows you've got, and then obviously you've got the award ceremony themselves as well. 2 really interesting cards. So the 24th, the full card is as follows: 6-woman tag match, Aisakura, Sayaka Kurora, and Ron Yagami versus Uriah Hime, Am Kanai, and Kikyo Furusawa. You've got a 3-way tag match, the Stars team of Sayurito and Momokogo versus Hazuki and Maki Ito, the team you never thought you'd see.
Oh my goodness.
And the return of Devil Princess, Rina and Azusa Inaba. Another 6-woman tag, Cosmic Angels, Natsupoi Sioriano and Yuna Mizumori versus the God's Eye team of Hina, Tomoka Inaba, and Kyoka Kotatsu. Rian versus Akira Kuragane in singles action. Another 6-woman tag, Shiori Saki Kashima and Lady C versus Neo Genesis, Azumi Meisera, and Miyu Amasaki. Another 6-woman tag, EXV, Maika, Hanako, and Wakasukiyama versus Mivida Loka, Suzu, Suzuki, Rini Yamashita, and Itsuki Aoki. And in your main event, an 8-woman tag, Starlight Kid, Amisori, Hannon and B Priestley versus Hate, Saya Kamatani, Konami, Nats Kotora, and Ruake in a Champions versus Challengers match. So, that is your show for the 24th. The 25th is a stacked card. So not only you've got Saya Kamatani coming back on the 24th, she returns on the 25th as well. Sari is back in Stardom. She'll be taking on Uriah Hime in singles action. Hashtag pray for Uriah Hime. 8-woman tag match. Cosmic Angels, Poi, Sioriano, Ayasakura, and Sayaka Kurora taking on Maki Ito, Kikyo Furusawa, the newest inductee into the Ito Respect Army, apparently, Saki Kashima, and Lady C. Another 8-woman tag, the God's Eye team of Hina, Tomoka Inaba, Ron Yagami, and Kyoka Kotatsu will be taking on Meisei, Momokogo, Miyu Amasaki, and An Kanai. 8-woman tag, EXV, Maika Hanako, Waka Tsukiyama, and Rian versus Mavida Loka, Suzu Suzuki, Rina Yamashita, Tsuki Aoki, and Akira Kuragane. 14-woman tag match. How are they going to fit around the ring?
We're going to find out.
Well, that is true.
I might be more interested to see how they're all going to fit in the ring than the match itself.
Absolutely. Can you imagine if it's a hate brawl to start off with?
It's got to
be. It's going to be like a Royal Rumble. Saya Kamatani, Natsuko Tora, Konami Ruaka, Rina, Azusa Inaba, and Fukigen Death against Hanan, Sayarida, B. Priestley, Syuri, Amisori, Starlight Kid, and Azumi. So just an embarrassment of talent in that match alone, and then your 2 title matches as well. You've got the CMLL Japan Women's Championship match, Hazuki the champion defending against Olympia, and then the High Speed Championship match as well. The first defense for Yuna Mizumori as she defends against Yuki Mashiro. So Matt, obviously a lot of tasty things on there. The card for the 25th in particular looking very, very nice. Really, really heating up this Mavida Loka versus EXV feud. Obviously, we had the interesting story beats of Hanako over the course of the shows that you're going to talk about a little bit later. Hazuki versus Olympia, very excited about, obviously, the return of Saya Kamatani. I imagine that we are going to have to transport what is left of Uriah Himi after her match with Sari around in a matchbox. I can't imagine she's going to make it through this match, bless her.
She took a heck of a beating, too, from our first Wonder champion and one Yuzuki Aikawa as well.
Who did not miss a beat, by the way. 13 years out of a ring. What?
I was going to say, out of a proper match, I think she was in that Battle Royal back at in
2021.
Yeah, but like as a proper match, wowzers.
Her first actual match where it's not just a spot, in 13 years. Yeah. Well, just under 13.
Looked great. And I think she has like 2 or 3 kids. Looked fantastic. I mean,
I'm sure she's just had one.
Yeah,
like, isn't she? Yeah, fairly recently.
Yeah, good on her. Good, God bless her. Good on her. But I'm glad to see her back. I know it's not full time, but it's a great rub for Uriah Himi. And again, I guess it's just like, hey, we're gonna put you in a match with our first, pretty much our first ace of the company. But then after that, you got to face Suri. So it's like baptism by fire for one Uriah. But obviously, they have big plans for her, and rightfully so, because her she's got the aura, very charismatic. Really good in the ring and only going to get better. But yeah, they, God bless with Suri. This match graphic we're looking at right here with Yuki versus Yuna. I'm so looking forward to that. We've been saying since Yuki's been on a lot of those New Blood shows that she needs to be somebody that Stardom signs to a full-time deal or a semi-full-time deal, because I believe she's still in school. So I think she's terrific. And that 14-person tag match, Rob, with those names you mentioned, the first thing that popped into mind is there's a lot of people to catch on dives. So we're going to see.
Oh, God, yeah.
Everybody's going to be very safe because it's going to be one spot, dive, sell. So, yeah, I have a feeling that you are going to get a wild brawl to start that, which would be interesting because we've seen it in tag, 6-person, 8-person, sometimes 10-person, but no, we're going 14 people. So you're not going to know what to watch, but just run to the hills, folks. If you got your merch, run. So, because we know that merch isn't cheap, but it's really good quality. Really looking forward to these 2 shows, and that just gets us into the next Korakuen, which they haven't anything announced. And the week after that, we go to that pay-per-view in Osaka that we talked about. So again, it always seems like there's always really great Joshi wrestling to look forward to each and every week, especially on the Stardom side, my friend, because just as much as we love, every wrestling company, in my opinion, nobody, whether it's the States, Japan, England, Mexico, Canada, nobody's doing it like Stardom. And I mean, these shows I'm going to talk about a little bit. It's just, the proof is in the pudding, my friend.
I mean, you say Yuki Mashiro is still in school, 24 years old.
I thought she was 16.
Maybe 24. Don't forget, she was in Ice Ribbon before this.
Huh.
There you go.
I think you did tell me that. For some reason, I thought she was I might be thinking of, I don't know who there's so many Joshis that are still in school.
There are a lot of Joshi out there, mate. It's almost like there's a world of Joshi out there.
Oh,
there
Rob,
you go.
Rob, speaking of which, here's my little plug. You just mentioned these 2 cards. If I want to go back and look at the cards, is there a website that you can direct me to where I
If
can
you
see?
missed, yeah, if you
I
missed
might have.
any of the matches that I just sped through, then please head on down to worldofjoshi.com or indeed to social media WOJ Wrestling, where you can find that card linked. Anyway, the final thing I just want to briefly talk about is our Stardom Cast end of year awards. The show is in the can. It's on YouTube. It's on your feeds. Go and check it out. Thank you to everyone that voted and took part and made it the biggest Stardom Cast awards we've ever done. Sixth annual Stardom Cast Award, which is mind-boggling. It really is. But I think we do need to rename them the Tam and Sire Awards, because Tam and Sire, not to ruin anything, as I have the graphic on the screen, so I don't know why I'm saying that, they won pretty much everything, which was, even the matches that didn't include Tam and Sire. Tam won the tag match of the year. Sire was in the faction of the year. So aside from the most improved and the tournament wrestler of the year, Saya Kamatani and Tam Nakano, in some configuration, were involved in every other category.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and not surprisingly so. Just really great. So it's always fun doing those awards, because it like you like to see where everybody lands on certain things. It was funny. I was listening back to the episode on my way to work this morning, and I properly chuckled when you versus Historic Crossover 3 got more votes than Suri versus Cherry. I was like, oh, I think that was great.
Greatest community. We have got the greatest community.
You guys are the best. We love you.
And again, thank you ever so much to those who voted. Ladies and gentlemen, that draws to an end my participation in this episode. I leave you in the incredibly capable hands of Mr. Matthew Turner, who is going to run you through the 4 shows that Stardom had this week, the 2 shows from Osaka, the show from Takamatsu, and of course, the pay-per-view from Korakuen Hall as well. Matt, my friend, I shall see you soon. I shall speak to you later. Enjoy, good sir.
Please get some sleep, my man. Please get some sleep. I'll
if I had the option, brother, if it was up to me, I would.
You got to sneak those naps in. All right, my man. Rest up. I'll catch up with you later, brother.
All right. See you soon.
See you. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Here we go. So Rob did give me the notes for these 4 shows. So I'm going to go through these 4 shows, and then I'm going to go give a little bit of the breakdown. And as always, big ups to our main man, Darren Chatton, for giving me the information for Io and Kairi Watch. So let's get into the very first show from the 17th of January. We are in Osaka for Stardom New Year Stars night number 1. Obviously, we know the injuries. Bozilla still out with that knee injury, no timetable. Motoi Hamabi injured that knee that she injured about this time last year. Hanan, she did come back at the Korakuen show. She wasn't on this show. Momo Watanabe still off from her injury after the Stardom Crimson Nightmare show. Not sure when she is going to come back. The attendance notes are as follows. The attendance inside Edion Arena Osaka number 2 in Osaka was 550 people. This number is actually a 27% decrease from the company's previous foray into the venue, which was 757 people, which they did a few days before Christmas, December 21st, and is the lowest Stardom has brought to the venue since June of 2025. However, the company's average in Edion Arena is 459, so about 90 above their usual average. But because Stardom is drawing so well, especially the last 12 to 18 months, it's a little bit on the decrease. The quick results are as follows, and I'm going to go down and break everything down. The opener, what a great opener. Neo Genesis, Starlight Kid, Azumi Meisera defeating Micah, Rion, and Maki Ito when it is Starlight Kid forcing Rion to tap out with the Black Tiger leg killer submission in 10 minutes and 48 seconds. Match number 2, tag team action as Olympia. I'm loving Olympia in Stardom. So looking forward to her match with Hazuki coming up this weekend. Olympia teaming with Kikyo Furusawa to take on the team of Ann Kanai and Hazuki when Olympia pins Ann Kanai with a version of the Liger Bomb, 10 minutes and 18 seconds. Our third match of the evening sees 6-woman tag team action as the God's Eye trio, Tomoka Inaba, Lady C and Rana Yugami defeat Cosmic Angels of Natsupoi, Yuna Mizumori, and Sayaka Kurora when Rana Yugami pins Sayaka Kurora with the paradiddle in 10 minutes and 27 seconds. Tag team action at its finest as Xena and Waka defeat the Mila Vita Loca team of Suzu Suzuki and Akira Kuragami with Xena hits the Thunderstruck. I love that move. On Kira at 8 minutes and 59 seconds. Next up, 8 women's tag team action. God's Eye of Shuri, Amisori, Saki Kashim, and Hina defeat the Stars team of Saida, B. Priestley, Momokogo, and Uriah Hime when Amisori pins Momokogo with the Liker Thunderbolt in 10 minutes and 19 seconds. Semi-main event, 4-way special match. Soriano, Miyu Amasaki, Hanako, and Aya Sakura ends in 9 minutes and 37 seconds when Soriano pins Miyu Amasaki with the special Potter ring. And the main event, an all-hate affair, as we see a little bit of a preview for that championship match that we got in Korakuen Hall just a few days ago, as Konami, Natsuko, and Ruaka defeat Rina, Azusa Inaba, and Fukiin Death when Konami forces Rina to tap out via the triangle answer, 16 minutes and 31 seconds. Folks, let's get into the breakdown of this show. Now, these first few shows, I'm kind of just going to be going through each match just a little bit with my star rating as we kind of just mosey on towards that big show in Korakuen Hall. So again, the opener, absolutely fantastic. Starlight Kid, Azumi, Maysara versus Maika, Rion, and Maki Ito. I absolutely love the stuff with Maika and Azumi. If you remember during the playoff match that they had in the 2024 5-star Grand Prix, they had an absolute banger, considering the fact that Azumi had to wrestle 3 times to qualify for that match. So I want to see Azumi versus Maika sometime again soon. I thought they were terrific. Really great stuff with Maysara and Rion to start off the match. Maki Ito, I like how she's a wild card in Stardom. We don't know where she's going to go. She's so out there in the best way possible. Is she going to go with Cosmic Angels? Is she going to go with Stars? She's teaming with Mikey here. She's accidentally stuttering people. Give me a Mikey Ito versus Starlight Kids singles program somewhere soon because they were fantastic. I thought this was terrific. This was my favorite match of the show. Eventually, it boils down to a little bit of a singles match with Rihanna and Starlight Kid. And they had a hidden gem of a match in last year's 5-star Grand Prix. Really great stuff. But eventually, though, it is Starlight Kid tapping out Rion to the Black Tiger leg killer submission. 4 stars for me. My favorite match from this show. I always say you want to start your shows off with a hot opener. This was a hot opener, and Stardom put the first few matches free on YouTube, which is a really great advert for them to get more people to buy tickets for the shows and subscriptions to Stardom World. Match number 2. And again, this was a little bit of a preview for the match we're going to see coming up this weekend. Olympia on one side, Hazuki on the other. Olympia teaming with Kyoko Furusawa and Hazuki teaming with Ann Kanai. Ann Kanai is just fantastic. You would think she's wrestling 4 or 5 years. Kikyo Furusawa isn't that far behind. I thought this was great stuff with Ann and Kikyo to start. Great chain wrestling. Again, they know the fundamentals. Holds were great, very smooth, great selling in between, but not overselling. Eventually, we just get some bombs with Olympia and Hazuki. Again, just a little taste of what we're going to get this weekend. I thought it was really great stuff. Eventually, though, is Olympia putting away Ann Kanai with the Liger Bomb. 3.5 stars for me. Again, this match was just to whet the appetite for that big championship match we have coming up this weekend. Match number 3, Yuna Natsupoi Sakura versus Rana Yugami, Lady C, and Tomoka Inaba. Lady C is just gelling with so many different members of God's Eye. Hina is part of Team Classroom. Obviously, Ami Sori as the rival Tokyo Towers. Her and Rana were terrific. Tomoka, Hina, and Lady C made a really great trio. I really thought maybe they should have put the belts on them on that Korakuen show a few weeks ago. But regardless, really great stuff here. Excellent stuff with Natsupoi and Tomoka Inaba to start off. We've seen them wrestle a little bit in 5-star Grand Prix before. There's a lot there that they can do if they want to do a red belt match or a wonder match or a big 5-star playoff match or a number 1 contenders match. Instant chemistry there. Sayaka Kurora always continues to impress. New gear she debuted about a month or so ago. She's really, really adding in a little bit more aura and a little bit more intensity to go with her wrestling. And I thought she was terrific here. Really great closing stretch with Sayaka Kurora and Rana Yugami, with Rana Yugami getting the better of Sayaka Kurora. She's able to block that big spear with a head kick and the paradiddle. I really like that 1-2 combination to put away the winner of last year's Cinderella tournament. 3 3/4 stars, Rana getting the win over Sayaka Kurora. We get a fun little tag match with Suzuki and Akira versus Xena and Waka. Waka really plays up the comedy in this match. Akira, another one ever improving. This is all about Suzu versus Xena. And we know we're going to see them clash quite a bit in that unit match we have coming up in Osaka. I thought this was a really, really solid match. Everything really kind of hit the beats, didn't outstay its welcome. Kind of a middle of the card tag match with the best stuff coming with Xena and Suzu. Xena getting the win, Xena getting many wins over these few shows we're going to talk about with the Thunderstruck. Great stuff here. 3.5 stars. Xena pinning Akira. We move on to God's Eye versus Stars, which always works. We have Shuri, Saki Kashima, Ami Sori, and Hina versus B. Priestley, Saida, Momokogo, and Uriah Hemi. Great opening with Hina and Uriah Hemi. Uriah Hemi only wrestling about 2 years, a little less than 2 years. Really somebody you can tell Stardom has big plans for. Again, very much like Rina and Hanan on that Korakuen show. New gear. She just felt really special. They wouldn't have brought Yuzuki Aikawa back to come back if she wasn't going to be in a meaningful program. And obviously Uriah Hemi is going to be in a meaningful. Our Yuzuki Aikawa is in a meaningful program to elevate young Uriah Hemi. So obviously more on that later. I thought Uriah Hemi was great here. Beat Priestley and Shuri. We've seen them wrestle before for the SWA championship, if you remember that. That is a combination that always works. Ami Sori and Saida. Great match at the 5-star Grand Prix last year. An absolutely must-see barn burner of a match they had in Korakuen Hall just back, I believe, in December, the beginning of December, or maybe it was the end of November, but it wasn't that long ago. I actually rated it 5 stars. And they go back and forth with the chops. You get a little bit of everything in this match. Saki Kashima acting scared. Saki and Shuri with great tag work. But ultimately, it's Ami Sori putting one Momo Kogo away with a thunderbolt. Momo Kogo was great here as well. Springboard plancha to the floor, the 619. Her and Shuri had really great chemistry. That's a singles match, maybe for the New Japan Strong, that I would like to see. Love to see Momo Kogo mix it up with Shuri for like 10, 12 minutes. I think that'd be great for Momo Kogo. And Shuri would sell and make Momo Kogo look really good until ultimately Shuri just crushes her. Again, I just want more opportunities for Momo Kogo because I think she's fantastic. This was a fantastic match with Ami Sori getting the win, building momentum to eventually will be her title shot coming up in Osaka in just about 2 weeks' time. 3.5 stars for me. Special 4-way with Aya Sakura, Hanako, Miyu Amasaki, and Soriano. Sori, absolutely fantastic. I mean, she's just next level talent. If Sai Kamatani wasn't like the champion of champions, I totally buy Soriano being red belt champion forever. She's so good, so charismatic, so great with timing. Really enjoying this program we're getting with her and Maki Ito. She was great here. Aya and Hanako, they've had some really great matches before. They teased something there. Maybe they're going to go back to maybe another future match, future Stardom Championship match. I don't know. But eventually we get to this little mini singles match with Soriano and Miyu Amasaki. Give me O2 Line versus Soripoi, because why the heck not? Thoroughly enjoyed this one. 4 stars for me. I thought this was a great effort from all 4 ladies. We get to the main event of this first show of Hate versus Hate with Rina, Fuking Death, and Azusa Inaba taking on the Wonder of Stardom champion Konami and the Goddess of Stardom tag team champions Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. Got a little bit of Devil Princess versus BMI 2000 in this match. Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe they are the tag team to take the belts off BMI 2000. You're keeping the belts in Hate. I don't know. Fukin Death, I thought was great with the comedy here, especially with Ruaka, Konami, and Rina. Just a little bit of an appetizer of what we would eventually see in Korakuen Hall, which will be the last thing I talk about at the end of this podcast. Some really great stuff, really great teamwork with Rina and Azusa onto Konami, really breaking Konami down. Eventually, though, it is the hate crate to Rina, which we do see BMI 2000, and we saw it in the Corkin show, really favoring Konami more than Rina in that match. Wonder if they're going somewhere with that. Again, my guess, maybe Momo comes back, and then we start seeing the cracks in hate, and she takes Rina with her. You see Momo and Rina maybe as kind of really cool badass heels, or badass baby faces, like kick-ass baby faces, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin, or like kind of how Momo was in Queen's Quest. So I can see that, and I'm all for it. Hate crate to Rina. Konami locks in the rear naked choke. Konami then transitions the rear naked choke into the German and a buzzsaw kick, and then locks in the triangle lancer. It was a lot It took a lot to put Rina down. Rina looked really great in the match, looked really dominant, and then it took cheating and like every finisher in Konami's arsenal to put away Rina in this great main event. 4 stars for me, my second favorite match from this show. Now, folks, we will go into show number 2, which let me load up my phone as Rob did give me the notes. Again, the injuries are the same going into this one. Bozilla with the knee, Matoy, Hanan. Again, obviously, we know Hanan came back. Momo Watanabe. So again, everything still is pretty much the same as we are waiting for some of these other great wrestlers to come back from Stardom. Emma as well. I believe they pulled her due to poor physical health. My guess is she'll probably be on that Korakuen show coming up at the end of this month. Crazy how Stardom 4 Korakuen shows in a month. And again, the drawing is just fantastic. So real quick, guys, let me just get a drink of water. Okay. Attendance notes. So we're in the same building we were. Edion Arena, Osaka number 2. We do have 567 people, a 17-person increase and a 3% increase on what they did the previous night. Quick results are as follows. Azumi defeating Ann Kanai in a great opener with the numero uno, 8 minutes and 16 seconds. We get match number 2, tag team match, as God's Eye team of Tomoka Inaba and Ron Yugami, Team Kick, as I'm calling them, they get the win over Mila Vito Loca of Suzu Suzuki and Akira Kuragami, when Tomoka hits a huge head kick onto Akira, 7 minutes and 44 seconds. 3-way tag action, as we do see the winner of the Goddess of Stardom Tag League last year, Sayaka Kurora and Aya Sakura, defeating stars of Bea Priestley and Uriah Hime and Kikyo Furusawa and Maki Ito, where Sayaka Kurora pins Kikyo with the Takamaki spear in 9 minutes and 43 seconds. Pardon me. Tag team action, as we do see the basically opponents for this week's show teaming up, as Olympia teams with Hazuki to defeat the Stars team of Saida and Momo Kogo, when Olympia pins Momo Kogo with a spinning spine buster, 9 minutes and 49 seconds. 6-woman tag team action sees the Cosmic Angels trio of Natsupoi, Soriano, Yuna Mizumori defeating the hate team of Konami, Rina, and Azusa Inaba, when Soriano pins Konami just a few days before her defense with the special pottering, 10 minutes and 57 seconds. Do we see Konami maybe go for her 3rd run as Wonder of Stardom champion? I wouldn't say no to that, I'll tell you that. Great match. Semi-main event, 10-person tag action. EXP of Micah, Xena, Hanako walking around. Defeat God's Eye of Shuri, Amisori, Hina, Saki Cashman, Lady C, with Micah picking up a big win with the Mijinoko driver number 2 on the Lady C, 12 minutes and 50 seconds. And then our main event sees Neo Genesis of Miwa Masaki, Starlight Kid, and May Sarah defeat the hit trio of Natsuko Ruak and Fukin Death, when Starlight Kid hits the moonsault on the Fukin Death, when setting pinning her. Starlight Kid picks up Fukin Death, and what does she do, folks? She hits her with the Sai Kamatani Star Crusher. So really, really cool way to start building up this match that we are going to be seeing in just a few days' time. So, folks, here's your quick results. Let's get into the breakdown. Azumi and Kanai to start off. This was great. Again, I believe free on YouTube. And Kanai looks great. Put her in the high-speed division. Azumi gave her enough to look really credible in this match. Eventually, Azumi putting away Ann Kanai with the numero uno, 3 3/4 stars. Really great stuff. Azumi's a special talent, and Ann Kanai is really, really good as well, and something that really can connect with the crowd, considering how young she is into her wrestling career. This was great with Suzu and Akira versus Tomoka and Rana. This was exactly what you wanted to be, 4 hard hitters. And that's what you got. With more of Tomoka and Rana, their teamwork. Really great stuff. They teamed in last year's Goddess of Star, the 2 years ago, the Goddess of Stardom Tag League. We saw a lot of kick sandwiches. Hope you like your sandwiches. There's a lot of kick sandwiches here. There was some really great stuff with Rana and Suzu. Really great stuff with Tomoka and Suzu, but not as much as I'd like to see. They did have a match a couple years ago. I think it was at the El Desperado anniversary show for New Japan, where these two absolutely tore down the house. I would love to see Suzu versus Tomoka in a big prominent match, maybe the 5-star, maybe the Cinderella, if they do bring back, the format a few years ago where they had some of the main eventers in there. But I would love to see just Tomoka and Suzu, a 12-minute match, just absolutely tear it down. They're great. Akira's great. Ronnie Yagami is somebody we may be overlooking to win the Cinderella tournament. There's somebody that they definitely have high hopes for, that Stardom, and Rana really is able to deliver in the ring and as well as connecting with the audience. Eventually, though, is Tomoki Inaba with that big jumping kick, hook kick, putting away Akira Kuragami. 7 minutes, 44 seconds, 3 3/4 stars. I wish this went a little bit longer. I think my rating would have been a little bit higher. The less than 8 minutes with those great wrestlers. Wanted just a little bit more. Maybe I'm being a little bit greedy. Six, basically a three-way dance tag team action here at its finest, as we do have Sakura Aya Sakura versus Maki Ito and Kikyo Furusawa, and B. Priestley and Uriah Hime. And I like how Kikyo Furusawa comes out like singing with Maki Ito, considering Kikyo Furusawa kind of wears the same stuff Maki Ito, and I never put that together until they came out together. I'm like, oh, Kikyo's had this new look, I don't know, since the summer, 6 or 7 months. Yeah, she kind of does look like Maki Ito. It was really cool. They worked really well together. Obviously, we know B and Uriah Hime, they worked terrific together. B was great here, and I and Sayaka. Again, it really seems like since the tag league, they just seem they're hitting a new level. I'm really looking forward to their new Blood Championship match they have. That I think they kind of pretty well set up for whenever the next New Blood show is. It's not official yet, but it does look like that they're going to be defending those belts on the next New Blood show. They were great here. Again, Ai and Sayaka work really well together. Would not be shocked if they were holding the Goddess of Stardom tag belts within the next 8 to 12 months. They look terrific here. Again, Maki Ito is so darn entertaining. Uriah Hime, another one. I expect big things for Stardom in the next 6 to 12 months. B. Priestley, fantastic as always. Give me B. Priestley versus Maki Ito because their stuff was hilarious yet hard hitting. Eventually, though, Sayaka Kurora hitting the big spear after Aya sets her up with the drop kick onto Kikyo Furusawa. 3 3/4 stars. Really solid stuff. This went about 10 minutes, and it was just really just boom, boom, boom. Everybody hitting all big moves. It was really almost like a high spot match and kind of needed to be, and it fit in really well into the structure of this card. Next match, we go to Momo Kogo and Saito taking on Olympia and Hazuki. Olympia and Hazuki worked really well together. And again, Hazuki Kagama, if you remember, some 6, 7 months ago, got kicked out of Stars. Kind of seeing maybe where they'll go. Maybe they'll start a faction or be in a faction, maybe with Olympia. This seemed to work out really well. Saito versus Suzuki was great. Saito versus Olympia was amazing. Obviously, Momo, we kind of knew poor Momo Kogo was taking the fall here. She was great. Her stuff with Hazuki bumping and feeding, selling. Eventually, eventually Hazuki's going to get hers back, and she does. And then that sets up Olympia to put away Momo Kogo with the Liger Bomb. 3.5 stars for me. We go to Univizumori, Natsupoi, Soriano versus Konami, Rina, Nazusa Inaba. This was all sorts of great. My favorite match of this show. Unimizumori is just another one operating on another level. Soriano, Natsupoi, two of the best wrestlers in the best wrestling company. Konami is doing the best work of her career. We did see Konami and Rina here not getting along, which I did like, which again pushes the narrative of what's going to happen in their Korakuen match. So I liked how them not getting along worked against them. It almost cost them the match. There's a really great fast start with Azusa Inaba and Yuna Mizumori. We know that Yuna, after she won that high-speed championship back at the Christmas Korakuen Hall show, Christmas Eve Korakuen Hall show, that Yuna had about 84 people challenge for that belt. I'll take Yuna versus Azusa if Yuna does get past, which I think she will. Yuki Mashiro coming up this weekend. Really great start with the two of them. Natsupoi and Soriano, just they apply their trades so well as a tag team, especially to Konami. And again, it's really the downfall of Konami's led hate team in this match of Rina, her and Rina not getting along, again, sparking more interest for that championship match in Korakuen Hall that we saw just a few days ago. That leads to the downfall of hate in this match. And Soriano, being the wily vet, is able to roll up Konami into the special Potter ring, costing hate the match, getting a win for Cosmic Angels, and then getting more fuel to the fire. That is Rina versus Konami. We go to our semi-final of this show, semi-main event. Shuri, Saki Cash, Mahina, Lady C, and Ami Sori versus Micah, Xena, Rian, Waka, and Hanako. We get a really great hard-hitting start with the two towers of this match of Ami Sori and Hanako. They worked really well together. Great stuff there. If Ami Sori does defeat Konami in Osaka to win the Wonder Belt, I would like to see Ami and Hanako in like a proper main event match in one of these Korakuen Hall shows. we have coming up as like a V1. I think that'd be a great spot. Let them go 18, 19 minutes. Let people see what Hanako can do and how Ami Sourei can draw as Wonder of Stardom champion if that's the way they go. Really great comedy stuff here with Waka as well. She does such a great job with that. Rihanna was terrific as always. Stone Cold Rihanna, great stuff with her and Hina. That's a match I would really like to see. Hina, another one really upping her stock in the best wrestling company in the world. I'm expecting Hina to have a monster year here in 2026, considering the fact that how much everybody loves Hana, her older sister, her twin sister Rina. People are on the Rina train, and rightfully so. Hina really seems like she's, wrestling with a chip on her shoulder. Like, hey, don't forget about me. She's doing really great work and going to consistently get better. This match was all about the little teases with Shuri and Micah. And again, Micah looking that she wants to go for the New Japan Strong Belt. I think all of us would like to see her go for the IWGP proper. But who are we to complain about possibly getting a singles championship match with Sherry versus Micah? And again, maybe that does happen at the New Beginning show in New Jersey in about 5 weeks' time, which more than likely I will be there for, covering for the Stardom Cast on the World of Joshi Network. Eventually, though, there's some great teamwork with Lady C and Hina. We saw the Team Classroom 3D, which I thought was terrific. Great teamwork with Lady C and Ami Sourei. Again, Lady C just seems to plug in really well in these multi-person matches. But eventually, though, Lady C eats the big L when Micah hits her with the Michinoku driver and number 2 for the 3 count, 3 3/4 stars. Main event time as we have Miyu Amasaki, Starlight Kid, and May Sarah versus Natsuko Tora, Ruaka, and Fukigen Death. There's really great stuff here with Miyu Amasaki getting up on BMI 2000. It really seems like Miyu does a great job selling for BMI 2000, and then with time for her to make the comeback, Tora and Ruaka make Miyu look like an absolute threat. So I like that. That's what wrestling is. It's give and take. You're working with each other to make each other in the match better. May Sarah's stuff here is just terrific. I'm really excited to see what she's going to do this year. And that she had a little bit of something with Hina at the Korakuen show, which I'll get into. And give me a Hina versus May Sarah proper match because that seemed to be magic. There's a lot of magic going on here on this Stardom roster. But eventually, though, we get the big dives towards the end. That leaves Starlight Kid in the ring along with Fukigen Death. Starlight Kid hitting the moonsault to Fukigen Death, and then the Star Crusher putting away Fukigen Death. A clear message sent to Saya Kamatani, so much so that Saya Kamatani had to come back from her vacation early. So I liked how when Starlight Kid did that, it was all over social media. Like, ooh, we're heating this up without Saya Kamatani needing to be here. Now Saya Kamatani's there, so coming back from her vacation early. Folks, show number 3 of these 4 shows we're going to be talking about. And let's get into the attendance. The attendance inside the Symbol Tower. I'm ahead of myself here. So we go to Takamatsu. This is on the 19th of January. So the attendance inside the Tower 1F Exhibition Hall in Takamatsu was 440 people, which Stardom has said this is a super no vacancy, which I believe means standing room. That means they probably sold standing room tickets probably the day of or the day before to get as many people in this venue as possible. The number is the highest Stardom has drawn to the venue of the 6 times they run it, with this being a 10.5% increase on the last time they ran, which was back in May of 2025, 398 people. So the numbers in Osaka weren't as big as they've been in the past, but here we go. We go to a different venue and standing room only, sold out, probably turned away at the door. Super no vacancy. So good number on Stardom there. And obviously they completely rocked it in Korakuen Hall, which we'll get into. All right, so folks, the quick results are as follows. 6-woman tag team action as Suzuki, Natsupoi, and Rion defeat Yuna Mizumori, Tomoka Inaba, and Kanai, when Natsupoi pins Ann Kanai with the Ferial Gift in 10 minutes and 24 seconds. The next match sees the hate team of Natsuko Tora, Ruaka, Zeus Inaba defeating the God's Eye trio of Ami Sourei, Lady C, and Rani Yugami, when Natsuko Tora pins Lady C with the Freezer Bomb, 9 minutes and 15 seconds. 6-woman tag team action is up next as Suzuki, Akira Kuragami, and Maki Ito defeating the team of EXV of Maika, Hanako, and Waka Tsukiyama. And Suzuki pins Hanako with the tequila shot in 10 minutes and 11 seconds. And more on that later. Really interesting what they're doing with Hanako and Micah. Our next match, tag team action, sees more Rina versus more Rina versus Konami, as we do have Rina team with Kikyo Furusawa defeating the hate team of Konami and Fukin Death when Rina forces Fukin Death to tap out via the Hydrangea. Semi-main event match sees God's Eye of Shuri, Saki Kashima, and Hina defeating the Cosmic Angels trio of Soriano, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kuro, and Shuri forces Sayaka Kuro to tap out with the grounded Suzaku, 10 minutes and 18 seconds. And what is the main event, which I think I might have done my notes backwards. More on that in a second. Neo Genesis, Starlight Kid, Azumi, Maysair, and Miyu Amasaki defeating the Stars team of Saida, B. Priestley, and Momo Kogo when Starlight Kid pins Uriah Hime via the movesaw, 12 minutes and 24 seconds. So excellent stuff. No, I did do my notes right. This was the show that Miyu Amasaki did not bring her Neo Genesis gear. And May Sarah, Azumi, and Starlight Kid did make fun of her. So I thought that was, and Miyu Amasaki did own up to it. However, Miyu Amasaki was absolutely fantastic in this match. So, folks, let's get into this, shall we? As I think I do have, yes. And then we do have that Hanan did make her return after the first match of this show. So, which a big pop, and she was doing some free advertising for Uriah Hime, wearing the new Uriah Hime shirt, which looks really, really cool. So, good on you, Hanan, getting your fellow stablemate some free views on the fantastic new Stardom Cast merch. So, folks, without any further ado, let's get into the breakdown of these matches. Match number one, the makeshift team of Ryan, Hazuki, and Natsupoi getting the win over another makeshift team of Yuna Mizumori, Kanai, and Tomoka Inaba. We didn't get as much Hazuki versus Tomoka Inaba violence as I would like. Stuff we got still was really good. I mentioned Natsupoi and Tomoka work really well together. They worked really well together here. This match was about giving Ryan and Kanai most of the spotlight, which I really enjoyed. Obviously, Ryan, Yuna Mizumori. Maybe that's where we go for a high-speed championship match somewhere in 2026. Who knows? Who wouldn't want to see that? Ultimately, though, it is Hazuki hitting the code breaker on Kanai that opens up the door for Natsupoi to hit the Pharaoh gift for the 3 count. 3 3/4 stars, a really solid opener. And sometimes it is pretty cool seeing where it's just like on these house, quote unquote, house shows, Stardom World shows. Yeah, let's just kind of throw random members and factions and just see how much fun we can have. This was all sorts of fun. I enjoyed it. Now, folks, we go to Amisori Lady C and Ranigami, representing God's Eye proper, taking on Natsukatora, Ruaka, and Azusa Inaba. More great stuff here with Tora and Ruaka versus Amisori and Lady C. They had a really great Korakuen Hall main event for the Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Championships a few months ago. Excellent stuff here. They kind of play off that. Great stuff with Ronda and Azusa. Their styles work well. As I always say, styles make fights. They have that striking style, the hard-hitting style. That's how this match started. That's how I wanted this match to start. Eventually, we get a breakdown into some tag team stuff, which, of course, BMI 2000 does have the better of. They have the advantage of a little bit of bending and breaking the rules. Again, they are the tag champs, so they're going to have that advantage when it comes to tag team wrestling. Eventually, though, it is Tora DVD to Lady C, and then the top rope freezer bomb, putting away Lady C. Poor Lady C eating 2 losses in a row, 3.5 stars for me. Folks, how about Maki Ito with Suzuki and Akira Kuragami? We're testing out Maki Ito in every faction. I don't know. Maki Ito very much is Mila Vita Loca. They take on the team of Micah, Hanako, and Waka. We get a big brawl to start all over the not all over the building, but kind of around ringside. A lot of Suzu versus Micah violence here, which is exactly what we want. Eventually, the match gets back into back under control, where poor Waka takes some heat here. And then we get the tag outs with Micah and Suzu. Back to the violence we go. Again, we know we're having that unit match coming up here in Osaka. I would love to see that break down into a big singles match sometime soon. Again, I know Rob and I did say, I think last week or 2 weeks ago on the Stardom Cast, that maybe Mila Vita Loca and EXV, maybe they they kind of absorb each other just with all the injuries going on. And EXV, the V is Venus for Micah or for Mina. Mina obviously left Stardom about 8 months ago to go to AEW, and she's killing it, by the way. Love the timeless love bombs. But maybe we kind of take some of the members of EXV and Bean La Vida Loco and we put them together. Who knows? I mean, Micah and Suzu as a tag team, it's a possibility. Like Paul Heyman said, man, what you said about the Public Enemy, man, they make great opponents. They probably be a great tag team. I don't know. I mean, again, crazier things have happened. That's really the main crux of this match. However, Hanako and Suzuki have this closing stretch where Mike is not there to help out her fellow member of EXV, and it costs them. Suzuki is able to do the super kick and the tequila shot, putting away Hanako for the 3 count. 3 3/4 stars, and Hanako is not happy with Micah. And again, more on that later. Reno, Kikyo Furusawa versus Konami and Fuking Death. Fuking Death corrupting the youth, trying to get Kikyo to smoke here. Really funny, fun stuff. We get some great stuff with Konami and Kikyo, but this match is all about Rina and Konami. Again, building off the heat that they had at the match at the previous night before in Osaka. Really, really great stuff here. Eventually, though, it is Rina being able to submit her fellow hate member, Fuking Death, with the hydrangea. 3.5 stars for me. Again, the meat and potatoes of this match was just sprinkling in a little bit more Arena versus Konami, which obviously it worked because they almost did 1,500 people again in Korakuen Hall at great stuff. Folks, let's go to match number 5. Aya Sakura, Sayaka Aurora, and Soriano versus Shiri, Hina, and Saki Kashima. We get some really great stuff here with Saki Kashima and Aya Sakura to start. Some quick roll-ups. People are biting on the falsies here. It's like you have Soriano in this match and Shuri, 2 bona fide main eventers in this company. And people are thinking the match is going to end in like 2 seconds because of the roll-ups. That just goes to show you how over Saki Kashima is with those flash pinfalls in the beginning. We saw Soriano and Shuri in the 2024 5-star Grand Prix at a really solid match. I would love to see them do battle, maybe for one of Shuri's championships, New Japan Strong or the IWGP Joshi Championship, because again, they're both next level talents. A lot of this match is just showcasing the great tag team that is Aya and Sayaka, and I'm firmly on that train. I'm also firmly on the train of Hina becoming somebody that can take that next level to maybe flirting with the main events or the upper mid card in the next 8 to 12 months, because she was great here. The stuff with Soriano was terrific. Really great stuff with Aya Sakura as well. Just really excellent stuff here. However, the finish comes when we do see that Sayaka Aurora goes to she spears Shuri for a 2 count. Soriano comes in, hits Shuri with a big Insaguri, and then Shuri is able to take Soriano out with a couple of kicks. Hina comes in, her and Saki Kashima pretty much run off Soriano and Aya Sakura. It's mostly Hina running off the two of them. And then we do see Shuri with a huge we do see Shuri with a few head kicks on the Sayaka Aurora. Then she locks in the cross arm breaker, and then Shuri transitions the cross arm breaker into the ground of Suzaku for the tap out. 3 3/4 stars. Shuri picking up another big win. Folks, the main event of show number 3 sees Miyu Amasaki, Izumi, Starlight Kid, and May Sarah taking on B. Priestley, Momo Kogo, Sai Ida, and Uriah Hemi. This was great. This was Stars versus Neo Genesis, 2 over factions, 2 babyface factions. Again, Neo Genesis, they're so cool. Stars, even without Mayu, even without Hanan, obviously in this match because she's injured, was injured. Obviously without FWC because they got kicked out of the group. Stars really seems to work, and we kind of knew Mayu was going to be leaving for Marigold, so they figured they'd dissolve Stars. Stars are still doing really well. I'm still enjoying what they're doing. Momo Kogo was great here, as always. She just works so well, especially with the Azumis and the Starlight Kids. The Zumi and Starlight Kid, very much like a Kamatani or an Utami over at Marigold, very generous with how they make the younger wrestlers, the wrestlers in the middle of the card and at the beginning of the card, how well they make them look. And Momo Kogo was great here. And Momo Kogo is the type of wrestler, if you give her an inch, she's going to take a mile. And I thought Momo Kogo was the MVP in this match. In a match that you have former World of Stardom champion B. Priestley, former Wonder champion here in Starlight Kid, high-speed champions all over the place with Izumi and May Sarah. And, Sai Ida, obviously, just a really next-level wrestler. And Sai Ida is so over. really started getting some momentum behind her as far as next level connection with the crowd at the end of the 5 star. And then that great match she had with Ami Sori for the #1 contenders for Dream Queendom against Konami. And then really ever since that Konami match, people are cheering for her. And we made mention, myself and Andy on Talk Joshi a few weeks ago. Asai Ida went to a Sendai Girls show to wrestle Chiro Hashimoto, and there are people chanting for Saida a little bit more than Hashimoto. Goes to show you how crazy over Saida is. I'll be shocked if we see a Saida championship, red belt championship match sometime in this year, whether it's Micah or whether it's still Sai Kamatani. I don't think anybody will say no. Ultimately, it's just this amazing tag team work with Miyu, Azumi, Starlight Kid, and Mesa. Despite Miyu not wearing the Neo Genesis team gear, she's still Miyu Amasaki. And another one that is really connecting with the crowd on another level these last few shows. Really great stuff here. We do see Miyu Amasaki get the pop-up DDT to B Priestley. Give me that as a singles match on one of these shows because B, again, was really there for all Miyu stuff, and Miyu was there to take the beating from B Priestley because B Priestley is one of the hardest hitters in this company, which is saying something when you have a Micah, Momo Watanabe, Shuri, Suri, so on and so forth. I know Suri's not signed to Stardom, but you know what I mean. B Priestley is one of these hard hitters, hardest hitters. Give me B Priestley versus Suri. I really want to see that match. Anyway, back to this match. Really great stuff here with B Priestley. So the pop-up DDT to B Priestley and Saida, they roll out. That sets up a huge May Sarah dive. And then we see the Neo Genesis triple spine buster. That opens up the door for Starlight Kid at the top rope moonsault on Uriah Hemi, getting the 3 count. Starlight Kid getting the big win, again, building more momentum to that championship match coming up in a few weeks' time against Sai Kamatani 3 3/4 stars. So these 3 shows were really good. Nothing like stop what you're doing to go and watch. It's Stardom. It's great wrestling regardless. There wasn't anything that really blew my socks off until we get to this Corkin show, which was great. Again, these 3 shows from Stardom were terrific. If you have time, definitely watch them. They're basically just link shows to link you towards Konami versus Rina, to link you to Starlight Kid versus Sai Kamatani, Hazuki, and Olympia. They're just setup shows. Still really good because again, it's Stardom, and I think my lowest rated match was 3.5 stars. So again, still really great stuff. Folks, let's go. Stardom New Year Stars Korakuen Hall on the 21st of January, basically almost their 15th anniversary show. Here's some pre-show notes from one Rob Goodwin. Konami, the 25th Wonder of Stardom champion, has been champion for 79 days. This is her first reign as champion, and she is in the midst of her second title defense in the main event versus Rina. Speaking of Rina, this is Rina's second chance at the Wonder of Stardom championship. Her first championship match came by about a year ago back in her hometown at the Path of Thunder, dun dun dun, and rock and roll against Starlight Kid in an absolute 5 star must-see match. This is the only second singles match between Konami and Rina. Konami did win their first singles match all the way back in 2021. Yuzuki Aikawa returns to Stardom for her first actual match since April of 2013 at her retirement show back in Sumo Hall. Hanan returns for her first match since September of last year. So obviously her last match was a little bit more recent than our first Wonder of Stardom champion and Yuzuki Aikawa. And again, the injury report is still Emma out, Koguma was out, Matoi, obviously Bozilla. We wish them all well. Hopefully they all come back soon and ready to go and kick some ass. So yeah, again, we hope all of the great wrestlers in Stardom and just around the world that are dealing with injuries heal them up, rest up, come back when they're ready, and get ready to wrestle in the best sport in the world, professional wrestling. The attendance notes inside Korakuen Hall is 1,408 people. This is a 9% increase on the last show, which was January 11th, 1,356, and becomes the 24th Korakuen Hall show in a row to surpass the 1,000 mark, or 28 out of 29, which is absolutely incredible. They're running 4 Korakuen Hall shows in 1 month. You figured that might be burnout for the fans. Keeps getting higher and higher. It's gonna be interesting to see what they put on that show on the 31st, considering I think like 4 of the 6 sections are sold out, something like that. So my guess is they'll still do over 1,000. Again, all depends on what they. I'm not going to say it depends on what they put on the show. Stardom. they're going to do over 1,000. The new benchmark seems to be like 1,200. Like it just seems like any company that runs Cork and they do over 1,000, it's a big deal. Now it's like Stardom's going to do 1,100, 1,200, almost regardless what they put on it. I hope they don't rest on their laurels and just give us like 6 or 7 random tag matches. Like I like that we're getting big things on these shows. We Wonder Belt. We had an artist match last time. We got the night before we had that great goddess match. So number one contenders match. Stardom's been doing a really great job these last 2.5 years, making Cork and Hall mean something. That's why they have sold out 28 of the last 29 shows, or done over 1,000 of the last 28 29 shows. And then I think 4 shows last year broke the previous record for Cork and Hall paid attendance for a Stardom show. Just unbelievable. Okay, folks, the quick results are as follows. Great opener. God's Eye, Ranigami, and Shuri defeating Hazuki and Fuachan when Shuri submits Fuachan with the Scorpion Deathlock or the Sharpshooter, depending if you're a Stinger Bret Hart fan, or if you're both, the Sharp Scorpion Deathlock or the Scorpion Shooter. Oh, I like Scorpion Shooter. Shuri forcing Fuachan to top out with the Sharpshooter, 11 minutes, 59 seconds. Second match on taps. Ami Sori and Olympia defeating An Kanai and Yuna Mizumori when Ami Sori pins An Kanai with a Blue Thunder Bomb, 7 minutes, 13 seconds. 10-woman tag action. Mila Vitaloka, Suzu Suzuki, Azuki Aoki, Rina Yamashita, Akira Kuragani, and Kikyo Furusawa defeating EXV and Micah, Xena, Hanako, Rion, and Waka in 6 minutes and 46 seconds when there's some miscommunication with Micah and Hanako. That leads Azuki Aoki to pin Micah with a straight jacket roll up. 6 minutes and 46 seconds. So this was all really about the post-match angle. More on that later. Really fun 3-way match as Soriano defeating Maki Ito and Tomoka Inaba when Soriano pins Tomoka Inaba with a special pottering, 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Next match coming up, Neo Genesis of Azumi, Miyu Amasaki, Mei Sarah defeating God's Eye of Lady C, Hina, and Saki Kashima when Mei Sarah pins Hina with the shooting star roll-up, 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Again, more on that later. Hina versus Mei Sarah could be a money middle of the card match because those two absolutely tore it up. 8-woman tag team action saw the Stars team of B. Priestley, the returning Han, and Saeed and Momokogo defeating Hate of Natsuko Tora, Ruaka, Fukin Death, and Azusa Inaba, and B. Priestley pinning yet another member of Hate using the Kamagori to pin Ruaka, 10 minutes and 18 seconds. Semi-main event. These two matches are absolutely must-see. Natsupoi, Starlight Kid, and a returning Yuzuki Aikawa defeating Uriah Hime, Sayaka Kurora, and Aya Sakura when Yuzuki Aikawa hits an absolutely perfect Tiger Suplex, 15 minutes and 29 seconds. In your main event, you want to talk about must-see. Konami defeating Rina to retain the Wonder of Stardom Championship Konami retains the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Rina using a sleeper hold in 19 minutes and 45 seconds. So some show notes afterwards. Backstage comments. We are building. Hopefully they cash it in. Hazuki versus Shuri, whether it's for IWGP Joshi or the New Japan Strong. It does seem like we're going to a match there. The Stardom main Twitter account has tweeted it out. Hopefully they will cash in there. Hopefully it does happen in New Jersey, which I am only an hour and change away. So if I get to see Hazuki versus Shuri live in a big championship match, oh boy, howdy. Happy boy. As long as it doesn't snow, because man, we're getting a lot of snow. World of Stardom champion Sai Kamatani made an appearance in the ring. We did talk about it earlier on the show, basically getting in Starlight Kid's face. Starlight Kid was trying to promote her new style book and that she's on the cover of the Weekly Pro Wrestling magazine. And then Sai Kamatani returned from her paid vacation early. Who does that? Who does that to basically kind of promote each other's book, but ultimately really promoting their championship match coming up in Osaka. After the match, B. Priestley did challenge Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. We'll get into that in a moment. And Hanan is going to be her tag team partner. And again, following the main event, myself and Rob did talk about it earlier that Ami Sori is the next challenger for Konami. And that match, it's not official because there's no match graphic, but it's going to happen in Osaka on February the 7th. So again, Stardom on an absolute roll these last few years. This January was terrific. Obviously, we're not done yet. And then February looks to be absolutely fantastic. speaking of fantastic, folks, let's get into the Sports Center style breakdown here from your Uncle MT. Hazuki and Fuchan versus Shiri and Ron Yagami. This is really great stuff, especially with Shiri and Hazuki. Again, sprinkling just a little bit. When this match was over, I was like, man, I want to see that singles match. And then you find out like an hour later, hey, Hazuki cut a backstage promo that she wants to wrestle Shiri for one of those belts. And then Sherry was like, yeah, let's figure something out. So again, it's coming up. I'm hoping it's on that New Japan show in I'll take it anywhere, to be honest with you. But I'm hoping it's on that New Japan show coming up at the end of February in Trenton, New Jersey. Fuchan looked great here, as well as Rana Yagami, Rana and Hazuki. If they're going to run Hazuki versus Shiri, I would love to see Rana versus Hazuki. Maybe it's Tomoka Inaba versus Hazuki just to get some steam behind Hazuki to challenge for that big championship match. I would love to see that because Hazuki and Rana worked really well together. This ending with Fuchan and Shiri was terrific. You saw a lot of fight and a lot of fighting spirit out of Fuchan. Eventually, it was just too much submission skills from the former Queen of Pancrase and one Shuri submitting Fuchan with the sharpshooter. I had this at 3 3/4 stars. Next match didn't get a lot of time. Olympia Nami, sorry. You want to talk about a powerhouse team versus Yuna Mizumori and Kanai. So really great stuff with Olympia and Yuna Mizumori. They did tease after the match, maybe Olympia coming for that belt. Really seems like Yuna Mizumori has the biggest target on her back as far as being the high speed champion. It's like she's been chasing that belt for almost 2 years, finally wins it. Now it seems like the Stardom roster and now a wrestler from CMLL wants to challenge for it. This match was really just about possibly teasing Olympia versus Yuna, but making Ami Sourei look really dominant, which she did, which we will find out why at the end of the show, why she looked as dominant as she did. She plans poor Ann Kanai right in the middle of the ring with a Blue Thunder Bomb. I had this match at 3 1/4 stars. Folks, we go to Micah, Hanako, Rian, Xena, and Waka taking on all of the members of Mila Vita Loca, minus Bozilla because of the injury, and Kikyo Furusawa. My guess is they might have wanted Bozilla in this match. They might have had it penciled in. Again, this looks like the match that they're probably going to be running back, or maybe some sort of stipulation coming up on the 7th because they're supposed to have a unit match. I know Rob mentioned maybe it's a unit dissolve match. I don't think they made that official just yet. But this was a lot of boom, 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 a lot of great back and forth. Everybody kind of had their spots to shine. Again, you got 10 people in this match with less than 7 minutes to really get into the flow of certain things. Still was really good. I had 3.5 stars, but what it was all about was Micah accidentally hitting Hanako with a lariat. And then Micah was shocked that she had a mishap because Micah's like almost like the perfect wrestler. Like she wrestles so perfect that it was like, how can I do that to my own teammate? And then she gets rolled up from Mizuki Aoki, which I was like, Micah eating a loss in this match in Korakuen Hall and not to Suzuki. I thought was really interesting. But then it played up with Hanako being really upset with Micah. Maybe Hanako turns on Micah and goes with Mila Vita Loca if they don't dissolve the factions or have the factions basically almost kind of conjoin. Really interesting to see where they go with this. And it's giving Hanako really something to bite her teeth into, considering the fact that if she does turn against Micah, she's going to be wrestling one of the biggest stars in the company and former World of Stardom champion in Micah. So 3.5 stars, good enough stuff. I wish it went longer, but it was all about Hanako and Micah not getting along. So we'll see where that goes. Three-way action. Maki Ito, Tomoka Inaba, and Soriano. You had great wrestling. You had really great things that were setting up. Was Maki and Soriano going to work against Tomoka Inaba? That didn't work. We had Maki Ito accidentally stunning Soriano yet again. Soriano did not take kind to that. Soriano and Tomoka Inaba, when they were able to have their little singles action, that's a muddy match. I don't think that they've had a singles match in Stardom. I'm trying to think the 5-star Grand Prix the last 2 years. I don't think they were in the same blocks. I don't think so. I don't think they've had a proper singles match in Stardom. Kind of just running through everything in my head. That's a match I want to see. But Maki Ito was like really the stir that stirred the pot in this match. I don't know what they're doing with Maki Ito, and I don't want to know, but I'm really entertained. I'm all here for it. I know she's wrestling Aya Sakura again in Osaka, which if Aya does win, Maki Ito cannot say she's going to be the cutest in the world anymore, which is obviously kind of Tam's thing. So I'm interested to see where they go. Come on, it almost seemed like Tomoka Inaba was like kind of like an innocent bystander here, but still kicked a lot of ass. And I've seen Tomoka Inaba obviously these last few shows. The back of her neck is taped up really well. So hope to see her maybe seeing maybe kind of taking some time off or not going 1,000%. You know, Tomoko Inaba is only 22, 23 years old. So neck injuries are nothing to really play with. So I did see she put something on social media earlier today that she was going for some sort of therapy for her neck. So hopefully she takes care of that. Again, hopefully this is more, you had your comedy, you had really cool spots. There wasn't any crazy huge bumps that we saw Tomoka take. So hopefully she takes some either time off or she kind of pumps the brakes a little bit because we don't want to see Tomoka getting injured. Ultimately, though, Soriano catching Tomoka Inaba with the pottering, 7 minutes, 13 seconds. I wish it went a little bit longer, but again, I understand 3 3/4 stars. Match number 5, Azumi Miyu Amasaki, Mei Sarah versus Lady C, Saki Kashima, and Hina. Okay, so Azumi is great. Miyu Amasaki, terrific. Love O2 line, crazy over in this building, in my opinion. Should have won the tag belts 2 weeks ago when they wrestled BMI 2000. Neither here nor there. Lady C is obviously fantastic. Saki Kashima, you can see she's not 100%. God bless her. She's gutting it out to these last 3 months. And again, I think Saki Kashima should, if she doesn't have any other plans, I think she should be a manager for God's Eye because she's so hilarious. That being said, this is all about Mei Sarah and Hina. This was great. Their stuff's back and forth. They fit so well. They gelled so well, but not so well where it's just like you can see they're cooperating with each other. There was still the struggle there, but yet the beautiful wrestling that is Mei Sarah, the fantastic wrestling that is Hina. And again, Hina's getting over almost, you're not there yet, almost like her two sisters in Hanan and Rina. Again, I'm massively invested in what Hina's going to do this year and next year. She's only 19 years old. She is absolutely terrific, and she's really starting to show that aura, that confidence. I would say it's one thing to be good bell to bell. It's another thing to be good curtain to curtain. And Hina is somebody that is really good curtain to curtain. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this. Again, Azumi was terrific. It's Azumi. But for me, this is all about Mei Sarah and Hina. Really great closing stretch towards the end with Azumi hitting a head kick to Hina, and that opened up the door for Mei Sarah to hit a fisherman's buster and then the shooting star roll up for the 3 count. I had this match at 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed the teamwork with Izumi and Mei Sarah. Maybe that's a route they go. Maybe, we do something maybe out of the ordinary where we give Izumi and Mei Sarah a run as either the tag team champions or put them in a proper tag team. If you're not doing anything with Izumi, not doing anything with Mei Sarah, see Izumi and Mei Sarah as a tag team. I think that would work. That's going to show you how great Izumi is. Starlight Kid is part of Starbomb, obviously Miyu Amasaki O2 line, and as I dubbed them, the high speed sisters with Izumi and Mei Sarah. Wouldn't say no to that. Folks, Hanan, Saida, Momokogo, B. Priestley getting the win of Natsuko Tora, Ruaka, Fukin Death, and Azusa Inaba. About 10 minutes to tell this story, and most of this story was just about Hanan is back. Hanan is back. It's a massive reaction. Looked in the best shape of her career. Looks so happy to be back. New gear. She looked like she got the star in Super Mario Brothers. She looked absolutely invincible. She looked like somebody that's ready to take that next step as the next permanent main eventer in this company. We know again she's flirted with that before as part of her and Saeed as part of his Wingori. She challenged Soriano, if you remember, 2 years ago at All Star Grand Queendom for the Wonder of Stardom Championship after she won the Cinderella tournament and came ever so close into an absolutely show stealing match between the two. I thought she was great here. Momo Kogo was terrific. She set up B. Priestley for a lot, which again is kind of why I thought B was going to choose Momo Kogo. But ultimately, it's B. Priestley just dropping bombs on hate, cracking the hate code in Korakuen Hall, putting away Ruaka with the Kamagoye. And now B. Priestley has now challenged BMI 2000 for the God Stardom Tag Team Championships and picked Hanan as her opponent. Again, I think she's going to turn out Hanan, and I think that you're going to see B. Priestley go to hate. So let me know, folks. Let me know if you think I'm right, if I'm crazy. I just think that's the way it's going to go. I'm not putting any money on it. Semi-main event, Yuzuki Aikawa looking like she'd have missed a beat, teaming with two of the best wrestlers in the world and Natsuko and Starlight Kids. Take on one of my new favorite tag teams in Joshi, which is saying something, folks. Sayaka Kura and Aya Sakura and Uriah Hime. So Sayaka Kura and Uriah Hime, they come out first. And then Uriah Hime comes out, new year. She does the pose, and it's so funny because then you see Momoko and B Priestley. They're supposed to be seconding this match, and then you see they almost came out and they almost gotten the shot of Uriah Hime and Aya and Sayaka, and you can see Momoko and B Priestley kind of ducking down and kind of laughing. I kind of chuckled at that. That was really funny. Again, you can just see B Priestley is having the time of her life being back in Stardom, and then I think I speak for all of us Stardom fans where we're so happy to have B Priestley back home in Stardom. Really great stuff. This match got time. 15 and a half minutes. There was great stuff with Starlight Kid, great stuff with Natsupoi, of course. Mutual Love, Starlight Kid, and Natsupoi. I would like to see them versus Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurora. I think that'd be a great way to build up the Cosmic Angels duo of Aya and Sayaka to that main event level because they're almost there right now. Again, they won the tag league last year. Sayaka did win the Cinderella last year, and Sayaka did also challenge in this building, won Saya Kamatani for the richest prize in all of wrestling, the World of Stardom Championship. This match was about Uriah Hime taking a beating and then bringing it back. It's like, welcome back, Yuzuki Aikawa. I respect it what you've done for this company. You and then Takahashi were really the first two pillars of this company, but this is my time. And Uriah just absolutely brought it. Literally the point where like Natsupoi and Starlight Kid had to come in and assist one Yuzuki Aikawa, which I thought was great. I mean, there's great fire from Uriah Hime. She's taking a beating from literally 3 of 3 former Wonder of Stardom champions here. The first ever in the Yuzuki Aikawa. Starlight Kid was the most recent before losing to Konami, and Natsupoi lost it to Starlight Kid at Dream Kingdom back in a must-see match of 2024. So you have 3 former Wonder of Stardom champions in this match, really trying to put away young Uriah Hime and Aya and Sayaka. I thought the teamwork here with Aya and Sayaka with Uriah Hime was really, really great. They really seemed like they had unmatched chemistry, especially with Aya and Sayaka. Again, they're a tag team. Natsupoi and Starlight Kid, they really came in. However, they really didn't know. They really didn't take away from Yuzuki Aikawa. Like they knew, like people are still here to see Natsupoi and Starlight Kid. They're two of the biggest stars in Stardom, but this wasn't about taking away anything from one Yuzuki Aikawa. I thought this was great. Yuzuki Aikawa eventually hitting so many brutal kicks to Uriah Hime. Uriah Hime, never, in the words of Ozzy Osbourne, don't you ever say die. Did not say die. Eventually, it's Yuzuki Aikawa hitting a picture perfect Tiger suplex, putting away one Uriah Hime for the 3 count. Even though Uriah Hime did lose that match, she got over really well in this match. Great stuff here. 4.25 stars. This is my second favorite match from the show. I'm sure you know my favorite match from the show is we go to the main event, Konami versus Rina, Wonder of Stardom Championship. These two getting almost 20 minutes to tell a perfect story. Folks, I mean, this just add this match to the lineage of must-see matches for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. There's been so many great matches since like the Io run and the Momo run, the Riso Shiki run. There's some great Julia stuff in there and great Tam stuff in there. And obviously, pretty much every match from the Kamatani run is must-see. You know, Mina, I know Mina didn't have too many 3 matches for the Wonder of Stardom. The Mina stuff was great. Soriano, Natsupoi, you know, anytime Hazuki is challenged for this belt, it's been must see. The Starlight Kid run was arguably the second or third best run in the history of this championship. And this match is just as good as most of those matches I just talked about. This was great. Rina, new gear. Rina, crazy over. Konami comes in. She gets the proper booze. People are paying money to see Konami lose this belt. This is just great back and forth where you just didn't know which way it was going to go. Konami cheating a little bit more than Rina in this match. Rina was still doing the brat stuff, still bending the rules. A lot of BMI 2000 distracting the ref so Konami can hit a chair shot to Rina. She hits the chair shot to Rina in the midsection and then puts the chair over Rina's head to kind of choke her with the chair. And BMI 2000 was just like, they weren't really hurting Rina, but they weren't helping her either. If anything, they were helping Konami. So again, interesting. We saw it in the tag match as well. We saw it in the tag match a few days prior, as I talked about. BMI 2000 kind of siding with Konami. And I wonder if that's going to play a role until when Momo comes back. And eventually, I think Momo's going to leave Hate to go into that big baby face role. So again, I got more questions than answers, which is really good. Konami is $13.99 and then locks Rina into a rear naked choke. Konami hits a German for 2 count. Rina blocks the buzzsaw kick, hits the pink devil, and then a second rope knee bomb and a third rope knee bomb. So as you get to like the last quarter part of this match, you really sense the urgency from both these wrestlers. They're hitting big move after big move after big move. Again, Konami with the German, Rina with the pink devil, 2 knee bombs back to back. I thought that was great. Rina hits the hydrangea bomb for a 2 count. And then while she's there, she keeps the hydrangea locked in. People really wanted to see a tap out there. I thought that was great. Konami comes back with a head kick, a German suplex, and then Konami locking Rina into a rear naked choke. Rina then rolls her body back and then has Konami's shoulders pinned down. I always love that finish because that's the WrestleMania 8 finish with Bret Hart and Roddy Piper, one of the greatest Intercontinental Championship matches of all time. So I always pop for that, and it always works. And Rina almost got her, and the crowd was biting into it. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Rina hits the missile dropkick and then the Tiger Lily. 1, 2, oh, and it feels like Corkin is shaking. I think the roof might have blown off that build. Well, maybe not, but like that place would have went ballistic if that was the finish. Crowning Rina, who's crazy over. They want to see Konami drop the bell and a tribute to the late great Hana Kimura. You get all of that mixed into that one moment, and it's just like, oh, so close. Really great stuff there. Konami blocks a vertebreaker, locks back in the rear naked choke. I love how she keeps going the rear naked choke. So like there's got to be a payoff here with that. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Konami then hits a German suplex and a buzzsaw kick. Rina kicks out at 1, and the place goes nuts again. I love it how it was like hot crowd, settling down, hot crowd again. Again, it's what we call in psychology of wrestling the roller coaster of emotions. Great stuff there. Rina ducks a punk kick and then rolls up Konami with a jackknife pin, which Rina does get a lot of wins with. And the crowd bid on that to a 2.9. Again, the crowd thought Rina was going to get there. Eventually, though, Konami just too much. Forearms, kicks, buzzsaw kicks, pump kick, big German suplex, back to the rear naked choke. And eventually, the ref has seen enough. Rina cannot sustain all of this punishment. I mean, Konami just did bomb after bomb after bomb with the kicks, the Germans, and the 3 times locking in the rear naked choke. But this time she's got Rina in the middle of the ring. She puts the hooks in, and the referee has seen enough. Calls for the bell as we have a basically a referee stoppage with a rear naked choke. 4 3/4 stars. Just another great match Konami's been having. Konami's always had great matches. These last 6 months, she's been something else. And these last 6 months, Rina has been something else. They have a main event talent on their hands with Rina. This was absolutely terrific. Rina and Konami then made up. They hugged afterwards. So all seems right, at least for now. Again, I still think that's something they can draw back to because I think Rina, they're going to turn her babyface if she's not already babyface now. And she only needs to tweak her character just a little bit, very much like we saw with Starlight Kids some 2 years ago. So overall, folks, all 4 of these shows were really solid, especially the Korakuen Hall show, especially those last 2 matches with the Yuzuki Aikawa return and this Konami versus Rina. Again, put it in the pantheon of great Wonder of Stardom championship matches. Again, and maybe I'm biased because Stardom is my favorite wrestling company and I do a Stardom podcast, but I think the 2 most important belts in all of wrestling right now are the red belt, the World of Stardom Championship, and then the white belt, the Wonder of Stardom Championship. So great stuff there, folks. Let's get on to our EO and Kyrie watch. And again, thank you, Darren Chatton, for saving me a whole bunch of time, giving me the notes and basically telling me where I need to go on my Netflix to kind of line everything up. So basically, EO and Rhea Ripley, they come out. They are obviously the tag team champions. They have set up a tag team championship match coming up. I believe it's this Saturday night's main event, as they'll be taking on Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. That is going to be a great match because Liv Morgan is a really great wrestler, and Roxanne Perez is one of the best wrestlers in this loaded women's division that they have. So really looking forward to that match. So we just had the promo to set that up. And then all 4 of these ladies, Roxanne, Liv, Io, and Rhea, they all declare that they will be available. They have be entering the Royal Rumble, which is next Saturday. So I still have no idea who's going to win. I don't know that there's any really clear winner. I think maybe the men's, either Roman or Jacob Fatu. And then I think that the women's, I know a lot of people are saying it could be Liv Morgan. So let's see where they go there. I think the hottest story they have is Io and Rhea Ripley. So I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. Again, I'll be watching and talking about it. Hero on EO and Kyrie Watch. So that's about it. Everything for EO and Kyrie Watch. Again, we'll have more coming up. Again, I guess Saturday night's main event will be that tag match if I have my dates lined up, and then the next week, the Royal Rumble. So a lot of really great things as we are on the road to WrestleMania. But folks, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Thanks for bearing with me as this last half was just the Matt Turner show, which is fine. Obviously, we got to get Rob some sleep. It's a busy guy with the working and then the website and everything new on the World of Joshi. And again, folks, the World of Joshi, it's live, it's up and running. Again, everything will still stay the same. The old Stardom Cast feed is now the World of Joshi feed, which I'm pretty sure that you've already seen. Again, the World of Joshi is still going to have the Stardom Cast, still have the Marigold Standard, and still going to have Talk Joshi. And again, Talk Joshi probably in the next week or two, give or take, will have its own feed. More bonus content is going to be on that as well, like watch-alongs, retro show reviews, interviews, stuff like that. And again, Talk Joshi, you're still going to get on your World of Joshi feed. It's just going to come out a day earlier. Or if you're subscribed to the Patreon, little as $1 will get you the Talk Joshi shows early and ad-free, as well as the Stardom Cast shows, and as well as Marigold Standard, and as well as the audio alternate commentary. And there's going to be more audio-only alternate commentary over on Talk Joshi, again, part of the World of Joshi feed. And that is going to be with, we're going to do some stuff with Marigold. We're going to be doing some stuff with Tokyo Joshi Pro. We're going to be doing some stuff with Sendai Girls. Some of that stuff is going to be on the Patreon. Some of it I'll give away as freebies on the Talk Joshi feed. So again, Talk Joshi is going to have its own feed, but it's still going to be on the old Stardom Cast feed, now known as the World of Joshi. So you guys really don't need to do anything. Just keep enjoying the great content that we're pumping out. And again, the Stardom Cast Patreon has now been renamed to World of Joshi Patreon, or World of Joshi Extra. And it's still the old Stardom Cast feed. So you only have to subscribe to one Patreon feed. If you're already a subscriber, you're already there. If you're thinking about subscribing, guys, there's gonna be more stuff. Stardom Cast stuff, Oz Academy, Tokyo Joshi Pro, whatever we can get in there. So, and again, if you have suggestions of something, a championship run you want me to do for Marigold or Sendai Girls or Tokyo Joshi Pro, guys, let me know. Let me know. It's what I'm here for. And I'm going to tell you how to get a hold of me, guys. Again, questions, comments, suggestions, anything you need from me, something that you want to see on the Patreon or something extra you want to see on Talk Joshi or the Marigold Standard or the Stardom Cast. Guys, I'm easy to get a hold of. Matt Turner OF on the Instagram and the Twitter is the easiest, fastest, and best way to get a hold of me. I know I had some people ask me, is there going to be World of Joshi t-shirts? Yes, there will be. Yes, there will be. I have already ordered the stickers. They may be here by the weekend. I'll tell you guys how to get a hold of those stickers. I'm going to make them really cheap to ship out, especially if you're over here in the United States. So again, keep your eyes on that because we have a lot of ideas for World of Joshi merchandise. If you guys want to shoot me an email, the email address is the StardomCast22@gmail.com. And folks, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Stardom Cast. We greatly appreciate your support. Can't do without you. It's like I always say, just not my podcast. It's our podcast because we're all together and everybody's different. Everybody's special.